crowd is filing in to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, where it's just about showtime for the Rangers and the Tigers as the Rangers get back against an American League foe. Welcome in, everybody, to game number 74 of the year. He's Tom Grieve, and I'm Steve Busby in for Dave Barnett. And it should be a good series. The Rangers, after facing the National League for the last couple of weeks, get back into the American League Central. They haven't had a lot of experience there lately, but they have a young guy who may be short on Major League experience, but he's not short on heart, and that's Justin Grimm.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect, Buzz, the first time we saw Justin. We'd heard a lot about him. One thing you heard is he throws strikes. I'm sure that's one of the main reasons he was called up to the big leagues. And in his first big league start, he definitely threw strikes. He didn't walk a batter in 6 innings. We knew he had a pretty good fastball, 92 to 94. But what we didn't know was how good his curveball was. That's a well above average curveball. Didn't see a lot in the way of change-ups in his first game. Chances are we will today. But that was a pretty impressive debut.
Very impressive. The Rangers couldn't have been more thrilled for the young man. They hope for some more tonight. And a new sheriff in town. That's Robbie Ross and his posse. They will head out to the bullpen momentarily. Rangers looking for another grim fairy tale here this evening as they take on the Tigers in the first of 3 from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. West is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Want to break up with a vehicle that's breaking down? Then head to your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best in Texas. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Another warm evening in Arlington. Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Lineup cards being exchanged at home plate. And Rangers got back on the winning side of things yesterday. They are now 22-13 in the friendly confines here in North Texas. And Ron Washington's ball club coming in at 45-28, still a 5-game lead. And before we get to the lineups tonight, let's check in with Emily Jones. Em?
Well, back in the lineup is Leonys Martin after the most successful and productive night of his young major league career. 2 for 4 last night, a double, a triple, and 3 RBIs. The decision to put him back in center tonight, a no-brainer for Wash.
I want to give Vincent extra time, and it's a right-handed throw in the night. Martin hit from the left side. And as long as he's here, I got to give him some opportunities. And, of course, as long as he take advantage of those opportunities, more come. But we know this kid can swing the bat. But the only way he's going to get the rest of his game together is to get out there on the field and play. And, we're going to make sure that he get that opportunity while he's here because, in my opinion, the best teachers are right here with us.
Ron Washington with tonight's Geico quote of the game, and of course trying to keep his guys engaged. That's what Ron Washington is all about. But Craig Gentry is doing better on the mend and available tonight should the Rangers need him, guys.
All right, and thank you very much. And Ron Washington hoping for another good start out of the young man. Like to see his ball club continue to play well. It will not be an easy task. Jim Leland has come up with this lineup to face the 23-year-old right-hander this evening. Austin Jackson leads off. He plays center field. Quentin Berry in left field bats second. Miguel Cabrera right in the middle of that order playing third base. Cleaning up things, the first baseman, Prince Fielder. The DH tonight, Delman Young. Brennan Bosch gets a start in right field. He bats sixth. Johnny Peralta is the shortstop. Ramon Santiago starts at second and bats eighth. And former Ranger Gerald Laird behind the plate and batting ninth.
Check out the Nissan scouting report for Justin Grimm. He's had one start. That was 9 days ago against the Astros, and it went well. Quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs. Thing you like best, no walks in that game, and 7 strikeouts. Had a really good curveball. In Double-A, he was pitching extremely well, 8-3, an ERA under 2 in 13 starts. He was the Rangers' 5th-round pick just a short time ago in 2010. Last year, he spent the entire season in A-ball, 2 different teams, Hickory and Myrtle Beach. So not a lot of minor league experience before he got to the big leagues, but if his first start is any indication, it looks like he's ready to handle the pressure.
Now we'll take a look at the Rangers defensively tonight. Hamilton in left, Leonys Martin in center, and Nelly Cruz in right. Michael Young at first. Ian Kinsler and Elvis Andrus up the middle. Adrian Beltre is the third baseman. Justin Grimm throwing to Mike Napoli. And home plate umpire tonight, Jerry Meals. Gary Darling is the crew chief. He's down at first base. Paul Emmel at second, and Scott Berry at third. Here's the Denton Ryan product. Austin Jackson stepping in, and Justin Grimm goes to work with a fastball right on the outside corner for strike one. Jackson may be the hottest Tiger of them all right now. That .313 batting average, really having a breakout season. And a swing and a miss there. It's 0-2. Jackson, a multi-sport star at Denton Ryan High School, and I think he opted for the right sport as he has become an excellent, excellent center fielder for the Tigers. Grimm's 0-2 pitch. There's that big breaking ball, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
I think you could kind of liken Jackson to Elvis Andrus in one respect. He's gotten better consistently in his short big league career, having his best year right now.
Hits this ball well to left center field. Leonys Martin on his horse. He can't get there. It's going to go to the wall. Into second is Jackson. He will pull up as Elvis Andrus takes the relay throw. And Austin Jackson just reaching out and gives you an idea how strong that young man is. Almost a one-handed swing, and he drove it to the gap in left center field. A leadoff 2-bagger.
He's trying to throw the fastball down and away. And didn't miss by much. It's away. Wasn't maybe down as far as he wanted, but it's away. And Jackson gets a good piece of it. Drives it into the gap. Not a lot of wind tonight, so there's no wind effect early in the ball game. You get what you deserve today. You hit it hard, fine. If not, it's not going to go anywhere.
So on this 100-degree evening, first one here at the ballpark this year, and Justin Grimm immediately has a man at second. First pitch way inside to Quentin Berry, spins him out of there. Berry showing bunt, and he was just getting out for his life. Says, woof, my goodness, that was a little close. You know, if your heart hadn't gotten started yet, it has now. Quentin Berry in 29 games this year. You see the numbers there. That home run of his first at the major league level, came yesterday against the Pirates. 1-0 pitch. That's out of play, straight behind home plate. Barry, another one of the young stars that the Detroit Tigers are transitioning to. He had his contract purchased back on the 23rd of May and made his debut that night for Detroit. The 1-1 from Grimm. Again, the bunt, and this one's a good one. And nobody covering first base. Ian Kinsler didn't get over there as Michael Young charged. And that's going to go as a base hit for Quentin Berry. So the Tigers, with nobody out, have runners at the corners for Miguel Cabrera. Well, a mix-up defensively. And Ron Washington kind of looking out of the side of his eye there. So what in the world happened?
Well, he bunted it where he's supposed to bunt it, to third base. Ian starts to go over toward first, but never gets there. He thought someone else was going to be on first base and was kind of backing up the play.
So here's Cabrera, who has just mauled the Rangers in the past, and he drives one to right center field. And Martin going back, can't get that. One hopping off the wall. Jackson will score. Being waved around third is Berry. He will score. And the Tigers, on the strength of a 2-run first inning double by Miguel Cabrera, jump on top 2-0. So immediately the defensive miscue by the Rangers comes back to haunt them.
It definitely cost him a run, and it'll be an earned run too, because it goes as a base hit. It's a play that should have turned into an out. And Cabrera's got obvious power to all fields. He can drive the ball out to right field, left field, you name it. So can this guy.
Prince Fielder stepping in at 304 with the average. And the breaking ball is inside to him. 1 ball and no strikes. Fielder struggling a bit of late. Just 2 out of his last 11 on this current road trip for the Tigers. Made headlines in the offseason. The big free agent acquisition by the Tigers. Rim back to him. That fastball is inside. He hits 2-0. Fielder, a mainstay for the 6 years that he was in Milwaukee. One of the most consistent power men in the National League. Now he plies his trade for the Tigers in the American League Central.
The other thing about Fielder is he plays every day. He doesn't take days off. Been very durable.
Home runs since 2006. That gives you a pretty good idea of where Prince Fielder stands. Ryan Howard leading the group, and right next to him, Albert Pujols, and then Fielder. Grimm's 2-1 pitch, and the breaking ball stays high. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Fielder originally came up with Milwaukee in 2005. Got his first taste of big league action. And he became a fixture at first base the following year. 3-1 delivery, foul back. Good fastball by Grimm, and it's a full count. Well, Fielder hitting the number 4 slot. Still nobody out here in the first. Fielder trying to get aboard in front of Delman Young, who handles the DH chores tonight. We were talking about in the open, the first 4 hitters in the Tiger lineup have been remarkably consistent. It's the last 5 that have really been inconsistent for Detroit. 3-2 pitch, chopped to third. Nice backhanded play. The throw across the diamond in time, but Cabrera, timing his break from second very well, is able to advance as Adrian Beltre saying, "You took advantage of me." Cabrera said, "Yep, I sure did." Took that extra base on the throw, so he's at third with 1 out for Delman Young.
Yeah, and you've got to get 1 out there after the first 3 hitters have reached base. But if Adrian had just faked toward first, then Cabrera was obviously going to be an easy out. You don't know that as the third baseman. You just know after 3 straight hits, you got to get an out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, the Rangers now pull their infield all the way in with Delman Young at the plate. And Grimm's pitch is looped into center field. That is going to fall for a base hit. Cabrera will score easily. Young gets the RBI, and the Tigers jump on top of Justin Grimm and the Rangers 3-0 here in the first. Young driving in his 26th run of the season.
They're definitely looking for the first pitch. And there's a hanging curveball. Curveball in this game early is not the same curveball we saw in the last game, which was a sharp downward breaking curveball that he kept down consistently. So far in this game, it's not breaking quite as sharply, and most of them have been up, including that one.
Mike Maddox out to have a chat with his battery, Mike Napoli and Justin Grimm, and sure the message that Mike Maddox has taken out there is, all right, 3 are on the board, that's enough. And just get them right here, keep the damage to where it is right now, and our ball club's going to score a lot of runs in this park. And you have to believe that as a pitcher. That's not the easiest thing to do, but you have to get out of your own head. And you got to get away from poor me, I'm getting killed, to okay, my job now is to get Brennan Bosch. Bosch at 239. First fastball to him is at the knees for strike one.
All 3 balls that have been hit to the outfield have been up. Curveball and a couple of fastballs. That last fastball was much better. A little sinking action down around the knees. There's one on the inside part of the plate, just missed. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
You got an idea the splits between home and road for Brennan Bosch. It is just the opposite of what you would normally think. Detroit is a place where Bosch has not had any success this year. And on the road, he has flourished. Justin Grimm trying to turn that trend around. It's chop foul back to the screen. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Delman Young, the runner at first. Being held on by Michael Young. 3 runs across on 4 hits here in the early going. Bosch taking his time, getting back in the batter's box. We're set to go. Quick move drives Delman Young back. Brennan Bosch has had great success over the years against the Rangers. He just had some games in this ballpark that have lit things up. Grimm's next pitch. And a high fastball, and Bosch fouling it back. Bosch 4 home runs and 10 runs driven in against the Rangers in his career. Justin Grimm about ready to throw his 20th pitch of the first inning. And it's chopped foul. You're right about that curveball, Tom. It looks like it just doesn't have the late break to it that Justin Grimm had his first outing against the Astros, at least not yet.
Yeah, several of them have stayed up. That one at least had good location. Didn't look quite as sharp as the one that we saw consistently in the last start. Still trying to find it.
Again, the 1-2. And again, chop foul.
2 good curveballs. He kept them both down. Bosch just was able to get a piece of each one of them. Having to work this inning.
Still throwing strikes the way he did in his first outing. 15 of his 21 pitches have been in the zone. Bosch waiting, and Justin Grimm gets set. And another foul ball. Well, Bosch hanging pretty tough against Justin Grimm. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Remember Brennan Bosch last year in Mike Adams' Ranger debut in Detroit. Hit a game-winning home run off the Ranger right-hander.
You know, when this guy looks hot, when he's hot, he looks like a 4th-place hitter. He hasn't been able to be as consistent as he would like. But we've seen him a couple of times when he's been on a pretty good streak, and he's tough to get out. You know, the Rangers felt fortunate that he wasn't available in postseason last year. He was on the disabled list. A lot of those games were pretty close. One swing of the bat could have made a difference, and he's got that kind of capability.
Grimm back to the plate. Again, a foul ball. This one into and out of the glove of Mike Napoli.
He's just barely hanging in there. He's barely fouling off the fastballs and barely getting a piece of the curveballs. He's hanging in there, but really hasn't come close to putting the ball in play.
Bosch last year in June 6th to be exact, in this ballpark, had a 5-hit game and 2 home runs and 5 RBI, and those are still his career highs. All that damage done in that June 6th game. Check swing on a breaking ball, and that's a little bit low. The appeal down to third base, and no. The appeal goes to Scott Berry. He said no swing, and it's 2-2. Delman Young still at first. 1 out. We play in the top of the first inning. 3-0 Detroit. Grimm back to the plate. Little tapper that it's going to be tough to get the runner at second, so they won't. And Justin goes to first. They get Bosch, and that's the second out of the inning, with Delman Young moving from first to second, and Johnny Peralta coming up.
That's a pitch he didn't throw much in his first start against Houston. Hasn't thrown it much today. That's probably the first one, but it was a changeup. And after all fastballs, all curveballs to Bosch, he fooled him with that pitch a little bit out in front of it.
Bosch proved to be a tough out, and made it Justin Grimm really work in that 10-pitch at bat. So 2 away. Here's Peralta hitting at .258. And Justin Grimm a little inside move to check Delman Young back to the bag at second. Peralta currently 0 for his last 8. And he has been in a bit of a funk lately, and he takes a breaking ball that's low for ball 1.
And Peralta had a good year last year. He had almost 300. Hit 20 home runs, knocked in more than 80 runs.
You can tell by those numbers the 5th lowest average of an everyday player in the American League at .211. Grimm okays the sign from Napoli. And the 1-0. Big swing and a miss. Fastball went up the ladder a little bit, and Peralta couldn't get that high. Peralta, the 30-year-old shortstop, waiting. And Grimm a couple of looks back to second where Delman Young is stationed. 1-2 pitch, line down the left field line. That's going to go to the corner. Around third, coming in to score is Young. Into second base with an RBI 2-bagger is Johnny Peralta, and the Tigers take a 4-0 lead. Justin Grimm not able to limit the damage to 3 runs. Peralta going out and looked like a breaking ball that stayed up a little bit.
He's just not able to locate the pitch as consistently as he would like. Peralta looked like he was late on the fastball that he swung through, and that curveball stayed up high enough for him to get the good part of the bat on it.
So Peralta and company putting the Rangers in an early hole here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Now the 8th hitter to come to bat in the first inning, Ramon Santiago, steps to the plate. Switch hitting second baseman up there from the left side. And the first pitch from Grimm gets him back off the plate for ball 1. Santiago, a very versatile middle infielder for the Detroit Tigers. Very, very good defensively, and he always gives the Rangers problems, and he's doing it again. He shoots one to center field for a base hit. Peralta around third will come in to score, and the Rangers lead 5-0. Tigers lead 5-0. Excuse me. Rangers have not had an opportunity yet to do any damage. But Ramon Santiago drives in his 17th run of the year. And Mike Maddox, not beside himself, but doesn't know what else he can do for the young man.
Well, they're swinging the bats this inning. That's all you can say. He's made some decent pitches that they've hit. He's made some pitches he'd like to have back that they've hit. He's trying to get that last out, maybe get a little break while the Rangers hit, and come back and hope it's a little better in the second inning.
And as you saw, Scott Feldman starting to get loose in the Ranger bullpen. And here's Gerald Laird, a familiar face to Ranger fans. Laird getting the start tonight and having a good year. 3.02 the average. He's been dealing with a little bit of a hamstring issue of late, but he has done a very good job as the backup to Alex Avila. And he takes a strike. It's 1-1. Five hits in the last 9 at bats for Laird, and he's hit safely in 17 of the 24 games he has started for the Tigers, and he's going to do it again as he aligns to right field. A base hit. Cruz gets the ball back in. Stopping at second is Santiago. And it's going to be at least 10 men coming to the plate here in the first against Justin Grimm. Rough start for the young man here tonight, and you got to find a way to get that final out here in the first inning. Ron Washington. Yeah, well, that's one of the things that happens when you have young, inexperienced pitchers. You get a very good performance, and then might have one like this who just, for Justin Grimm, is just a real tough first inning against a very good hitting ball club.
It kind of started right off the bat with the at-bat to Jackson. Got a fastball up that Jackson hit for a double, and then a defensive play that wasn't made on a bunt. Didn't go as an error, went as a base hit. Got off to a bad start and just hasn't stopped.
Well, Austin Jackson up for the second time this inning. And Justin Grimm with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike, trying to come up with plan C about now. See if we can get Austin Jackson to end the first inning. 1-1 pitch, and that finds the outside corner.
Got 36 pitches right now for Justin.
Pretty good numbers with runners in scoring position for Austin Jackson. The 1-2 pitch. Got him on the fist, and Jackson able to fight it off. It remains a ball and 2 strikes. Grimm okays the sign, and the right-hander ready to work. Nice block by Mike Napoli on that breaking ball, and the count is even at 2-2.
Well, Scott Feldman is probably loose, and this is probably Justin's last hitter if he doesn't get him right now in this inning. If he gets him, he might come back for the second, but he needs to get this guy to stay in the game, it feels like.
Scott Feldman appears to be ready. He's kind of going along pitch by pitch now with Justin Grimm. Andy Hawkins out there monitoring Feldman's warm-up tosses. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out. And now time called as Grimm and Napoli taking a little too long for Austin Jackson's liking. Grimm's pitch. Fastball just inside. And the count has gone full. So with 2 outs, both Ramon Santiago at second and Gerald Laird at first will be off and moving with the next pitch. And if Jackson is able to keep this first inning going, Quentin Berry is waiting in the on-deck circle. 40th pitch of this first inning will be a 3-2 delivery to Austin Jackson. And now Mike Napoli going out to have a talk with Justin Grimm. And this might be one of those situations, too. And Napoli's very good at reading what's going on with the pitcher, where Justin Grimm is kind of lost in the moment. He's not really thinking about what he wants to do. He's trying to go on feel. I think Mike Napoli very wisely went out there just to check on him and make sure his head was in the right place before this next pitch. Now we're set to go. Runners on the move, the payoff pitch. Sky to left field. Moving to his left is Josh Hamilton. And he makes the grab. That'll do it. But the Tigers strike for 5 in the first. They strand 2. And as we go to the bottom of the first inning, it's Detroit 5 and the Rangers coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. They face Rick Porcello, trailing 5-0. And here's the Ron Washington lineup tonight. Ian Kinsler, the second baseman, leads off. Elvis Andrews bats second. Josh Hamilton is batting third. The cleanup man, Adrian Beltre, is at third base. Michael Young, the start at first base. He bats fifth. Nelly Cruz in right field. The DH tonight is David Murphy. He'll bat seventh. Mike Napoli bats eighth. And Leonis Martin is in center field, hitting ninth.
Nissan scouting report on Rick Porcello. Record is under 500. ERA is almost 5. He has great command. Only two or fewer walks in 11 of his 14 starts. He had a start against the Rangers in Detroit earlier in the season. That was worse than the start that Justin had. He pitched 1 inning in that game, gave up 10 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned runs in that start against the Rangers in Detroit. He's kind of in the same situation. He just couldn't stop the bleeding. Rangers just kept getting hit after hit until he was gone. Sinker ball pitcher, not really a strikeout pitcher. Good control, good sinker. Gets a lot of ground balls. Velocity in the low 90s.
And Ian Kinsler, as you will note, is struggling a bit in the last few ball games. But he's got a foe on the mound that he's had good success against in Rick Porcello. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kinsler 6 out of 9 in his career against the 23-year-old sinker baller. Also driven in 5 runs. 2-2 pitch, loop to right field, a base hit by Prince Fielder, and there's a start as Kinsler shoots one the other way, and the Rangers have their leadoff man aboard. Take a look at the Tiger defense that will back Rick Porcello tonight. Barry in left, Jackson in center, and Bosch in right. Prince Fielder at first, Santiago the second baseman, Peralta at short, and Miguel Cabrera at the third base spot. Gerald Laird behind the plate, and Rick Porcello is on the mound. The 1 on, nobody out. Here's Elvis. A modest 2-game hitting streak coming in. Had a great series against the Rockies, and he takes a strike. Last 9 ball games, Elvis has been as good as anybody on the Ranger Ball Club. 0-1 pitch. And that shot foul off the screen in front of the Ranger dugout on the first base side. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
When Porcello came out of high school in New Jersey, he was one of the most highly touted high school pitchers in the country. But there were signability questions. Teams didn't know whether they were going to be able to sign him or not. So he didn't get picked until the 27th pick of the first round by the Tigers. And then they gave him a huge contract.
And a called third strike, and Elvis in disbelief standing there looking back at Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire, and Meals said nope, that was a strike right on the outside corner, and Elvis is gone.
Let's see, Gerald sets up outside. Close, not really technically touching the strike zone, but it's one of those borderline pitches that goes the pitcher's way. Elvis didn't like it. Elvis has pretty good eye at the plate. Felt that was outside.
Now 1 gone. Here's Josh Hamilton, and there goes the bat. A foul ball, and that bat flying over the Ranger dugout and back 5 rows. And hopefully everybody's okay. They've got that area down pretty good, don't they? The signs up there. Josh was a little short of that this time. Well, it's at 3 rows.
If you're sitting there, it's coming. At least once a game, it feels like there's going to be a bat going that direction. Be heads up.
No balls and a strike to Hamilton. He's able to lay off that changeup outside from Porcello, and the count is 1-1.
So the Tigers got Porcello with the 27th pick, and they were happy he was there. They paid whatever it took to sign him. And then he only had 150 innings in the minor leagues before he got to the big leagues as a 20-year-old. He's had pretty much 3 full seasons in the big leagues at age 20, 21, and 22. He's only 23 right now.
He was the National High School Player of the Year in 06 and 07. And that pitch low. He's fallen behind Hamilton now. 3 balls and a strike. And the Rangers trying to start chipping away at this 5-0 deficit. Got Hamilton hitting third, and waiting in the on-deck circle will be the Ranger third baseman Adrian Beltre. Snap throw to first, and Kinsler just barely back. Fielder slapping that tag down on Ian's shoulder, and he just had the hand in ahead of that tag. I don't think getting picked off with a 5-0 hole that you're in would be a favorable thing to go back to the dugout with. And there goes the bat again. That's going to be a foul. Foul bat, but it stayed on the field of play. And a fan reaching over pulled that into the stands. Most unpopular man in the ballpark right now, the security guard. He got the bat back and handing it to the bat boy. And the count is 3-2 to Hamilton. We have to get him some Velcro or something, put on that bat handle and his gloves. Porcello okays the sign. The right-hander's ready. 3-2 pitch inside, ball 4. Hamilton taking a close pitch, and Porcello a rare walk. Has 2 aboard with 1 out for Adrian Beltre.
There's the fastball. You can see the movement. That's pretty much the same location. It's a little lower, but as far as being close to the plate as the ball that was called on Elvis, maybe an inch or 2. Porcello has good movement on his fastball, good sinking action. He tried to bring that ball back toward the plate. Didn't quite get it there, didn't get the call. Can get a couple runs right here and take the sting out of that 5-run inning, that's for sure.
First pitch to Beltre is a strike on the inside corner. You saw the numbers on Adrian. 323, that's the second highest on the ball club to Craig Gentry. Gentry up at 345. third in the American League, right ahead of his teammate Josh Hamilton. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, it's interesting, Tom, you talk about that called strike. The difference I saw with Jerry Meals is, and a lot of umpires are this way, the pitch on the inside corner, they won't give you anything. That has to be on the plate to be called a strike. If it's on the outside corner, they'll give you a little bit. And I think that a swing and a miss. The pitch that was inside to Hamilton, a left-handed hitter, with Meals sitting on the inside corner, he had a real good look at it. The pitch to Andrus, even though it's the same side of the plate, Meals is sitting on the opposite side of the plate, calling the balls and strikes. 1-2 to Beltre, and he has gone on strikes. Pretty good stuff at 92 miles an hour from Rick Porcello. Second strikeout of the inning with 2 outs. It's up to Michael Young if the Rangers are to keep this going.
A slider the pitch before it, man, that's just a great sinker. Looks like a strike, and watch it sink right at the end, goes straight down. He struck out a good hitter right there. You know that pitch had to be a great pitch. In fact, he struck out a really good hitter who's hot right now, too.
First pitch to Michael's a bit outside. That sweeping breaking ball. And you saw the numbers on Michael Young at 270. On base percentage uncharacteristically low, but boy, against Detroit in his career, Michael has done a pretty good job, almost 3/4 of an RBI per game. Check swing, he couldn't stop it in time. It's a strike. And again, the hard breaking ball from Porcello.
Porcello's given up almost 12 hits per 9 innings. 106 hits in 80 innings. That percentage is the highest in the league. He doesn't walk many, doesn't give up a lot of home runs, but he gives up a lot of hits.
2 balls and a strike. And part of Porcello too, this Tiger defense, not bad as far as what they can get to, but they are not gifted with a lot of range for the most part. Austin Jackson, a very good center fielder, but infielders not so much. And Michael Young thrown out by Ramon Santiago. So the Rangers get a couple of aboard, but can't do anything against Rick Porcello. A hit, 2 left, on to the second. 5-0 Detroit on Fox Sports Southwest. Go to the top of the second. Let's welcome aboard Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, thank you, Steve. Hey, nice crowd here on a Monday night at the ballpark. Ranger fans wanting to enjoy the game. Good to have you out here. Community Corner this evening. We're talking about a big day yesterday here at the ballpark. You had the RBI and junior RBI coaches coming out here meeting Ron Washington, Rangers manager went over some baseball tips, techniques, and some drills with them so they can take back and teach their little guys. And, you know, the junior RBI and the RBI program, reviving baseball in the inner city, Ron Washington, a big part of that. He supports that program. To find out more, log on to TexasRangers.com/foundation. Steve.
All right, Jim, thank you. Quentin Berry starting things off against Justin Grimm. The right-hander is coming back to the plate with a 1-0 pitch, and it's a little bit low. Berry had one of the bigger hits in the first inning, although it seemed very insignificant at the time. He was trying to sacrifice with Austin Jackson at second and nobody out, and the bunt went for a base hit. That opened the floodgates as Miguel Cabrera brought both of them home. Michael Kirkman, the left-hander, starting to loosen. So it's possible Ron Washington has decided better save Scott Feldman. And a strike at the knees. It's 2-2 to Berry.
Berry signed as a minor league free agent. He played 6 years, which you need to do to become a minor league free agent, not be on a big league roster. He was a .267 hitter for 6 years of minor league work. He's hit better this year in the big leagues than he ever hit in the minor leagues. Hit a home run the other day. Not known for that.
Berry fouling that last pitch off. The count is still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grimm back to the plate. And that changeup. A little bit low and outside, and the count has gone full. Berry, the number 2 hitter in the order, to be followed by Miguel Cabrera. Payoff pitch, and that's fouled out of play. This Tiger offense, even though they've scored fewer than 4 runs per game in those graphics we showed you in our opening remarks in the month of June, don't let that deceive you. Another foul ball to the left. This ball club can get hot at any time, and you just hope it's after they've left town. But Jim Leland has seen his ball club explode for 5 tonight, and he's kind of used to that. You know, the big guys in the order and the people around him start getting on base to set him up, and they can be a handful for anybody. Again, the 3-2 pitch, that's low for ball 4, and Berry is aboard. That's the first walk issued by Justin Grimm tonight. No, 1 on, nobody out, and again Miguel Cabrera coming to the plate. Ron Washington has seen his 23-year-old right-hander Justin Grimm walk his first big league hitter. Cabrera, the 2-run double that got the scoring started for Detroit in the first. He now has 58 RBI for the year. And Grimm will work on Berry, who has good speed at first. Cabrera waiting. Imposing right-handed hitter. There goes Berry, and the pitch is inside. The throw is high and late. And Berry swipes second base. Well, Detroit putting all phases of their offense into play here in the early going.
Yeah, not much a chance for Knapp right there. That base was stolen before he ever wound up to throw the ball to second base. Good lead, good jump. A little bit of time to deliver the ball, and not much of a chance to throw him out.
That's Berry's 12th stolen base in his 29-game tenure with the Tigers. Breaking ball gets in and over. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera, a .370 hitter with 9 home runs and 47 driven in and fewer than 200 at bats against the Rangers. Grimm's pitch, line to right field, a base hit. Charging his crews. They're going to hold him up at third. Gene Lamont put the stop sign up. And Berry stops at third, and again runners at the corners for Detroit, nobody out, and Prince Fielder coming to the plate.
That's probably going to be it.
Yep, that's going to do it as Ron Washington out of the Ranger dugout. Now, he was hoping that Justin Grimm could turn things around here in the second, have an easy inning, and maybe get the ball club further along in the ball game, but it's just not going to be that kind of a night for Justin Grimm. He will depart after 1 inning plus 2 hitters here in the second inning, and Michael Kirkman will make his way out of the Ranger bullpen, make that long trek in to the mound. Well, Kirkman on and Grimm gone after an inning plus. We will take a short timeout and be right back to tell you about Michael Kirkman on Fox Sports Southwest. Saturday, you can join the Rangers Twitterverse for a Texas tweet-up event prior to the ball game. Meet the people behind the popular Rangers Twitter accounts and a Ranger player. Tickets start at $35, include an event T-shirt, a ticket to watch the Rangers take on the A's. That ball game starting at 6:15. Find out more at TexasRangers.com/Texas tweet-up. And they're practicing right now, as a matter of fact. Michael Kirkman coming out of the Ranger bullpen now, and he will take over. And Justin Grimm back to the dugout. Very disappointed, I'm sure, in what happened here tonight. Numbers on Michael Kirkman. This is 4th appearance. He inherits runners at the corners and nobody out here in the second. And Prince Fielder looks at a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, well, Michael's got a job to do now, and it's not to throw one inning. It's to be somewhat resourceful with your pitches and be able to do what a long reliever does in this situation and try to go 3 or 4 innings. He's been groomed as a starter in the minor league, so that shouldn't be a problem as long as he's having some success throwing strikes. So that is the job right now. Save the bullpen. Try to hold the Tigers. Give the Rangers a chance to peck away, get back in the game.
Fielder, one of the best at hitting in these situations, and the pitch high and away to him. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Fielder, always a huge run producer. And I'm not talking about his size as being huge. I'm talking about the numbers he's put up. And a powerful lineup with him in the middle up there in Milwaukee, and the Tigers hoping to capture some of that in the American League. That pitch out of play to the left. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Michael Kirkman, last time he took the mound was against Colorado on Saturday. And with the Colorado Rockies leading 8-1 and gave up 3 home runs in the span of 7 pitches. Back-to-back home runs, and then he pitched an effective next inning against the Rockies. Fielder fouls that high fastball back. It's still 2-2.
And one thing that makes the middle of their order so tough, Cabrera and Fielder, is they're 300 hitters and they walk a lot. Last year Cabrera walked 108 times. Fielder's averaged about 110 walks the last 3 years. So they're not only guys that can drive in runs, they're good hitters who will take a walk. They're tough to pitch to.
There's a high drive to right field. Going over with a play is Nelly Cruz. Tagging at third is Quentin Berry. Cruz makes the catch, throws into second. Berry comes down the line to score. And Prince Fielder with the RBI makes it a 6-0 Detroit lead. Fielder with his 46th RBI of the year. Run will go on the ledger of Justin Grimm. He still has property at first in Miguel Cabrera, but there's one out now, and Delman Young coming up. Not much you can do. Prince Fielder, as you mentioned, Tom, a very good eye at the plate, a very selective hitter. When he sets his sights on putting the ball in the air and driving in a run, he usually gets it done. Delman Young taking ball one. Young had a run-scoring single to center field his first time up.
Yeah, the thing about both of them is they're good hitters. They're 300 hitters. They'll take a walk. They've got power. They're proven run producers. They don't strike out very much. They put the ball in play. For power hitters, their walks are high. Their strikeouts aren't that high. Really, you got to really look closely to try to find something negative about them offensively in any category. Stolen bases, I guess. They're not runners. But
don't need to be.
No, that's for someone else to do. And then to drive in.
And they, as big as they are, they anchor down both corners of the infield well, so it doesn't move around. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Delman Young. Young with 26 RBI after that single in the first inning. Kirkman okays the sign from Napoli. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball, a back foot hook. And down on strikes is Delman Young. That's out number 2. It'll bring up Brennan Bosch. Well located breaking ball down and into the right-hander.
One thing that's interesting, you know, kind of talking about the middle of their order, Cabrera and Fielder. Last year, Cabrera walked 108 times. This year, he's on pace to walk about 55 or 60 times. And the biggest difference was Fielder wasn't in the lineup last year. He got pitched around a lot. With Fielder hitting behind him, he's not being pitched around as much. He won't walk as much this year.
Bosch, a little tapper back to the mound for that ground out his first time up. And the pitch a little bit low to him. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, if you can imagine both Josh Hamilton and Adrian Beltre being pretty warm, hitting the ball or swinging the bat well at the same time. Same thing with Fielder and Cabrera. Left-hander, right-hander combination. There's a strike. It's 1 and 2. You almost have to pick your poison. And Cabrera and Fielder, both excellent hitters, and they seem to get better when they have an opportunity to score runs and to drive in runs. And that's the mark of a great hitter. 1-2 pitch from Kirkman. Got him swinging. But Kirkman with back-to-back strikeouts. Tigers gone in the second. They score a run, however, on a hit and lead one. After 1.5 in Arlington, it's the Tigers 6, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday from 10 a.m. Right here on Fox Sports Southwest, or visit www.hometownkids.tv for more information. And Nelly Cruz starting off the bottom of the second inning. Rangers down by half a dozen. Cruz coming in hitting at .262 for the season. Had a 2-home run game here on Saturday, and he gets fisted here. A jam shot out to second. Santiago on to fielder, one away. And this is not the same Rick Porcello the Rangers saw back in April in Detroit. He's got that good hard sinker working pretty well tonight.
Well, when he commands it, he should get a lot of ground balls like that because he can run it in on a right-hander's fist. So Michael Young do the same thing for the last out in the first inning that Nelly just did.
Ranger designated hitter David Murphy will now step in, and he takes the first pitch a bit low for ball one. Murphy's had great success against Porcello, including last year's postseason 8 out of 10 lifetime against the Tiger right-hander. He looks at a strike. Murph overall 7 home runs, 25 driven in. Last 11 ball games, as you will note, he's been rather hot at .375. And that changeup is off the plate. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Porcello's 2-1 pitch. And it's a strike. And the count is even. Murphy and the Rangers, as Tom told you, jumped on Porcello back in April at Comerica Park. Murphy pops it up. This one looks like it might stay in play. Cabrera coming over and makes the grab just as he steps onto the warning track in front of the Tiger dugout. And that is out number 2. And before Mike Dapley steps in, let's check in again with Emily Jones. Em?
Well, some good news on the injury front for these Texas Rangers. Derek Holland will have a rehab assignment in Round Rock on Wednesday. He'll throw 50 pitches there. He will make a second rehab start on Saturday. I ran into him on the tunnel on the way down here before the game. He said he is anxious to get things going and ready to get back on the mound here in Arlington, guys.
All right, Emily, thank you. Well, that'll be good news for Ranger fans. Good news for Derek Holland. He's going crazy hanging around. Getting back off the disabled list is his primary focus. Mike Napoli, kind of 1 ball and no strikes. And now it's 2-0 as Knapp takes outside. Napoli, a modest 3-game hitting streak coming into play tonight. 240 overall. And Napoli over the weekend really showing signs of getting that swing back in order. Takes a strike. It's 2-1. Porcello into the wind, and the right-hander's pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike. Napoli trying to get aboard with 2 outs here in the Rangers' second. The number 9 man, Leonis Martin, will follow. Martin coming off that big game yesterday. Fouled straight back, and the count has gone full. Napoli adjusting those batting gloves. Getting back in. Back-to-back starts behind the plate for Napoli, who had started at first base. He shoots one to right field. That's a base hit. Well, and that was very reminiscent of what we saw the second half of last year from Napoli, fighting off a couple of pitches and then taking a tough pitch and going the other way with it.
And not only going the other way and getting a base hit, but driving it the other way. Pitch out over the plate. Knapp's got such power. It looks like he can almost step a little bit away from the ball and still drive the ball out of the ballpark to right field.
So Napoli aboard, the second Ranger hit against Rick Porcello, and with 2 outs, Leonis Martin takes a strike at the knees. Martin kind of a questioning glance back to Jerry Meals. .250, a pair of extra base hits yesterday for Leonis. He had a hand in every single run that was scored by the Rangers. He drove in the 3 and scored 1 himself.
And a couple of good swings on those line drives that he hit. See him developing power over the years.
Yeah. Big swing and a miss there. Yeah, and Ron Washington is very quick to point out that there's never has been a question in the Ranger organization about whether Leonis would be able to hit at the major league level. He can hit here right now. It's just his development as an all-around player. And Wash said that just takes time. It takes time and playing games, getting in situations, figuring out how you have to deal with them. 1-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat out to second. Santiago were underhand to Peralta. Napoli is forced. The Rangers are gone in the second. No runs a hit. And they strand their third runner of the game. After 2 complete, Detroit 6, Texas nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Geico Insurance. 15 minutes can save you 50% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway MPG. Michael Kirkman back to the hill, and the Tigers leading 6-0. They will send up the bottom third of their order. Johnny Peralta, Ramon Santiago, and Gerald Laird. Kirkman's first pitch lined into the glove of Beltre. Yeah, Peralta hit a screamer, but Beltre able to move a step to his left, flag it down for out number 1.
That Beltre had one the other day in a day game go right by him. It hit a little bit harder than that. Ball he didn't pick up, lost in the white shirts of the stands. A little bit different at night, though. That's a great shot of him watching that ball right into his glove. See his head turn as the ball went in his glove.
Here's Santiago now. The switcher turns around to hit from the right side against a lefty Kirkman and looks at a strike. Santiago, an RBI single in the first. That drove in his 17th run of the season for Detroit. Off the plate inside, Kirkman has a count go 1-1. Yeah, Beltre had said that he saw the ball on Saturday afternoon, that ball that got by him. He saw the ball, and then he couldn't see it.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah.
I didn't know that,
yeah,
that he'd said that, but that's exactly what it looked like.
He said he saw it come off the bat for about, probably 15 or 20 feet, and then it just disappeared. And he said it scared him because he didn't know if the ball was coming at his head or not, which is why he turned his head.
His instincts probably got him in position to catch it because he saw it come off the bat. But that's a scary feeling when you know a ball's hit that hard and you don't know exactly where it is.
Beltre, a sure-handed play at third and on to Michael Young. Santiago gone. 2 quick outs, and Gerald Laird will come up.
Yeah, Michael's doing exactly what his job is, to come in long relief, stop the bleeding, number one, but get outs and do it efficiently. He's thrown 19 pitches. He's gotten 5 outs. He's had a good curveball. Struck out Bosch with a really good curveball. And he's throwing strikes, 13 strikes, 6 balls. So you forget, as you said earlier, Buzz, you forget what the score is and focus on what your job is. So far, so good through 5 hitters for Michael.
Laird takes a fastball high for ball 1. To me, it's probably the toughest job on a pitching staff is to be a long guy when you're asked to come into a ball game like this, for example. You don't know, first of all, you're going to pitch when you come to the ballpark. You don't have any inkling. Laird slams one to center field in a hurry as Martinez sliding catch by Leonis. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Kirkman, who's retired all 6 Tigers he's faced. We finished 2.5, Tigers 6, Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Dinner every Wednesday night through August the 8th, and you can enter to win free Rangers tickets. Visit iloveontheborder.com for more details. Those guys have been on the border a few times. Very definitely. 6-0 Detroit as the Rangers come to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the top of the order, to face Rick Porcello, who has allowed a couple of hits and 1 walk. He has 2 strikeouts. Ian Kinsler began things this evening by singling to right field against the Detroit right-hander. And a strike on the outside corner with a breaking ball. Kinsler now, that average up to 270. And Porcello misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, the Rangers need to start pecking away at the scoreboard, and I want to start pecking away at a couple of notes we've got here, Buzz.
Okay.
Slowly but surely between pitches. Got some blueberry oat banana nut bread. It was very good. Everybody liked that. From Heidi Deal in Tyler, Texas. Thank you, Heidi.
Yeah, nice going, Heidi.
Did you try some of that,
yeah,
Buzz? I saw you nibbling on that.
I was.
Also, Becky and Tim Farrell from Bedford, Texas. Becky sends up cake balls frequently, German chocolate cake balls today. Thank you very much, Becky. The Birds are here today. Phil, Rhonda, and Kirk from Leveland. They sent up some butterscotch, chocolate chip, marshmallow brownies. That's jamming a lot of stuff into a brownie, but they were very good. Thank you very much, Rhonda.
Call strike 3, and Kinsler disagrees with Jerry Meals, but doesn't pursue that too far. He's still giving a parting shot as he walks back to the Ranger dugout. That is the 3rd strikeout for Porcello, the 2nd
Did it come back enough? Yeah, it touched the strike zone. Tough at bat right there. You look at the rectangle, which represents the strike zone. There's not much in it in the way of a good pitch to hit, but there's a lot of things barely touching it that were called strikes. Porcello's done a good job of that today, using his sinker well and not throwing many pitches near the middle of the plate.
Here's Elvis, who was called out. Very similar pitch to what Ian Kinsler just watched go by. Slow tapper foul, and that's going to stay foul. Take a look at the Ford leaderboard. It will show you the hits leaders in the American League. Derek Jeter on top with 92. Just a couple behind is Miguel Cabrera. Then Adrian Beltre, and right there after Adam Jones, Elvis Andrus. Pretty impressive leaderboard right there. How about the year that Adam Jones is having?
Yeah,
wow.
There's a lot of young players who are on their way, if they're not quite there yet, to being stars in the league. He's definitely one of them. I think he's just about there, though. Number of good-looking young players.
And this guy right at the top of the list.
Elvis is right there with him. And you look at the way he's increased his on-base percentage, his extra base hits, his confidence. Whoa.
Call strike 3. And Elvis now is going to have another discussion with Jerry Meals. Second time he's been called out on strikes. And Jerry Meals very patiently explaining his point of view. And at the very end says, and on top of that, you're out anyway.
Porcello's not really a strikeout pitcher, but he's got 4 in 3 innings today. Bringing that back a little bit, and they're touching the strike zone. They look like they're going to be outside, but they tail back just enough to be close enough for Meals to call them strikes.
Swinging strike to Hamilton. Yeah, you saw in that replay where Meals positions himself, and almost every umpire now positions himself on the inside corner as to the hitter. Left-handed hitter, he will be on the first base side of home plate. Hamilton, a line drive into the glove of Ramon Santiago, reaches up above cap high. A 1-2-3 inning first time Porcello has sent the Rangers down in order. We finished 3 in Arlington. Detroit leading 6-0 on Fox Sports Southwest. Ford. It's been all Tigers so far. They sent 10 men to the plate in the first inning. 5 of them scored, 7 hits and 3 doubles in that frame. Meanwhile, Rick Porcello has made that stand up very handily. Just a couple of hits in 3 innings of work. Michael Kirkman back to the hill, and the first pitch of the top of the 4th inning to Austin Jackson is a breaking ball that bends over. Jackson 1 for 2, a first inning 2-bagger, and he made the last out of the first inning by flying to left field. A ball and a strike.
And Michael's only thrown 23 pitches now and gotten 6 outs out of it.
Yep.
A couple of balls hit hard last inning, but right at fielders. Nice play by Martine in center field.
That ball's popped up, shallow right field, coming on Nelly Cruz. Plenty of time to get there. Out number 1. And let's go check in with Jim Knox. Knox?
All right, thank you, Steve. John Blake of the Rangers here to give us an All-Star update. What's the latest, John?
Well, Jim, in my hands, I have the latest All-Star balloting. Just came out this afternoon. And while the Rangers are solid at catcher with Mike Napoli, Josh Hamilton with his 8 million votes in the outfield, and Adrian Beltre at third, Ian Kinsler and Nelson Cruz are 90,000 votes behind for an All-Star starting berth. 4 days left in the voting. Everybody watching right now, go vote. You can vote up to 25 times per email address. We want to get Ian and Nelly in that starting lineup to join the other 3 guys in Kansas City.
Now, voting ends on Thursday, so if everybody watching right now votes Ian and also Nelson Cruz, they could get in because we got a big viewer audience right here. They can get in.
Well, that's what we're hoping. I mean, Ian has fallen behind Robinson Cano again by 90,000 votes. Nelly is 90,000 votes behind Jose Bautista of Toronto for that last outfield spot. So everybody vote and vote off and try. Let's get him in the All-Star game.
Where do they have to go to vote?
Just go to TexasRangers.com and you can vote for Nelly, Ian, and all the Rangers.
There we go. All right, John, appreciate the update. Steve?
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, vote early and vote often. Kind of like a Chicago election of yore. Quentin Berry at the plate, and Michael Kirkman, a few breaking balls to him, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Austin Jackson, a fly ball to right to start things, and that's shot out of play to the left. It's 2-2.
Barbara and John Harrington from Granbury, Texas have been married for 56 years. And to celebrate that, you know what they did, Buzz? They sent you some pecan oatmeal cookies. What a way to celebrate a 56th anniversary.
Boy, that's
Pretty
great.
nice.
Yep. That is fantastic. Now the 2-2. Just outside. The count has gone full.
The longest distance a batch of cookies has ever traveled to get to us, I think, from Pensacola, Florida, Robin Stewart sent a big batch of cookies to us. She and her husband became Ranger fans a couple of years ago. Got the MLB package, watch all the games on TV. In fact, it's his birthday today. She didn't say what his name is, but Mr. Stewart.
Mr. Stewart.
Happy birthday. And Robin, thank you very much for the oatmeal fudge bars. Very nice of you.
And if you're at home in Pensacola, batten down the hatches, too. You understand you got some weather coming your way, courtesy of Debbie. Tropical storm Debbie. Kirkman again with the 3-2 pitch. Up the middle, Kinsler to his right. Can't hang on to it. Fell out of his hand on the transfer, and we'll see how that scored. Steve Weller, the official, scored tonight. And Ian Kinsler has had some problems this evening. Missed assignment in the first inning and called down on strikes. Didn't agree with that his last time up. Now a play that we've seen him make a lot of times just falls out of his hand when he tries to transfer it.
Yeah, that's a routine play for Ian. He makes the play on the run, throwing, going towards second base or left field extremely well. So if he hung on to that and got it in his throwing arm, that was an easy out.
And they're going to score it an error, Tom. Steve Weller agreed with you. He said that's a play that Ian Kinsler will make most of the time.
I think so.
First error of the ball game. And 1 out and 1 on for Miguel Cabrera. And Kirkman will drive Berry back. Quentin Berry, by the way, stole second base in the second inning. His 12th steal in just 29 ball games for the Tigers. So he adds an element that was pretty much exclusive to Austin Jackson. That has some speed at the top of the order. Pitch to Cabrera off the plate inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
I want to thank Jackie Taylor from Carrollton, Texas, for the incredible batch of truffles. She says that's her form of therapy to make those. She actually runs a commercial electrical contracting company and makes truffles on the side. So thank you very much, Jackie.
2-0 pitch hit high in the air down the right field line. Nelly Cruz over to take a look, but he'll run out of room.
And Shelly Olson is in Arlington Memorial Hospital. We want to wish her a speedy recovery. Hope you're doing well, Shelley, from all of us here with the Rangers.
Cabrera 2 for 2 tonight. 2-run double in the first, and he singled to right field in the second inning. Quinton a pretty good lead at first as Kirkman comes back to the plate. Good breaking ball from Kirkman. And Michael's had that working tonight.
Well, we've seen Michael enough to know when he throws the ball like this, it's not a surprise that he gets big league hitters out. He's got big league stuff. He's got a good fastball, really good curveball. Just a matter of consistency with him. But when he is consistent with his command, he can definitely get big league hitters out.
And he will drive Barry back with that toss. Yeah, Michael 4-1 in 8 starts. He started the year in the Round Rock bullpen, but he had a miserable time in the first month with that. Well, then they switched him to the starting role, and he went 4-1 with a 471 earned run average once he got stretched back out. Good fastball in on the fist, but Cabrera fights it off foul. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Kirkman back to the plate, and that breaking ball hit right down the line at third. Beltre to second for 1. The return to Young, around the horn go the Rangers, and the 2 ball is in the bag. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left after 3.5. Detroit 6, Texas nothing on Fox Sports. Beltre steps in to start things off in the 4th. Let's take a look at the AT&T trivia question for tonight. Only 2 teams have won the best of 7 series, with all wins credited to a reliever. Texas has won in the championship series, elite championship series last year against Detroit. Who was the other? That's the question for tonight. That's a head scratcher for me. Adrian Beltre, first ball swinging, lines 1 to left field. And he is aboard to start off the Ranger 4th.
Yeah, Adrian missed a really good sinker to strike out his last time up, down. He wasn't going to waste a chance to tomahawk that high sinker. Trying to throw it down and away. It comes up and in. And Adrian jumped all over it. See if the Rangers can't get a little rally going here. Get something going. Get on the board.
Well, Beltre collects the 3rd hit of the night off of Rick Porcello, leading off the 4th. Now Michael Young will step in. 0 for 1 with the ground ball to second base. And Young going the other way, slices it down the right side, but that'll be back about 3 rows. Well hit ball, but just a little bit tardy with the trigger pull by Michael Young. And Porcello, this is the first time that I've seen him in this ballgame get a 2 or 3 pitches up to hitters.
Yeah, they're making a lot of good pitches.
Michael trying to increase the power numbers a bit. He has been in about a 6-week lull as far as driving home runs. Slices it to right field. Going back is Bosch. He has to reach up as he's backpedaling and make the catch. That's out number 1. Back to first base goes Beltre. And Nelly Cruz coming up. Now this July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer as baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game. That's coming up on Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 Central on Fox. All-Star Game in Kansas City. Ron Washington will be there, and I've got a feeling that the Rangers will be very well represented. Skipper refuses to be pinned down. Media questions about what he thinks about the pitching staff. He said, I'm not ready to give those to you right yet. Big swing and a miss by Cruz. Here are the leaders as of this afternoon. Now you heard John Blake say Jose Bautista only about a 90,000 vote lead over Nelly Cruz for that last starting spot in the outfield. Josh Hamilton pretty comfortably ahead. And Cano at second base about 90,000 ahead of Kinsler. Cruz fouls it back, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the Rangers have numerous candidates in their pitching staff, in the rotation, in the bullpen, on the disabled list. They've got them everywhere.
And Matt Harrison winning his 10th yesterday. Yu Darvish going for his 10th tomorrow night here against the Tigers.
Joe Nathan's a solid candidate.
Yep.
And you know, probably over the last, maybe it's 10 years, instead of just starters and closers, they've started to add setup relievers. And you have to give Robbie Ross consideration. He's got an ERA a little bit above 1, and he's 6-0.
Yeah.
There going to be some setup relievers that make the All-Star team that won't have those kind of statistics. When Ogando was healthy, he certainly would have been a candidate.
Sure. Well, Nelly able to eyeball that last breaking ball, and so he has run the count full. Adrian Beltre at first base, 1 out. If Nelly continues to get things going here, David Murphy will hit with a couple of runners aboard. Payoff pitch, got him swinging. Rick Porcello with his 5th strikeout of the night. And that is approaching his season high. His season high was set back in May against Cleveland. He had 6 strikeouts. Boy, that sinker, though, devastating when he gets it down there.
That's the same sinker that he struck Adrian out with. Hitter has no idea that's where it's going to end up when he starts his swing. Tough to predict the movement on it.
First pitch to Murph. And it's a little bit low for ball 1. David popped out in foul territory to Cabrera, the third baseman, his first time up. Porcello back to the plate and throws a knee-high strike. Showed you the numbers that David had in his last 11 ball games, a .375 hitter. You go back over the longer streak, 16 games. David Murphy has hit .326. And he takes ball 2. Murphy with that slightly open stance. And he gets ready as he brings that front foot toward the plate. And the next pitch is out of the strike zone. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Porcello hung a sinker to Adrian Beltre, who hit it for a single. Michael Young flied to right. Nelly Cruz went down swinging on a good sinker. Now he's fallen behind. 3-1 to Murphy. Pitch on the way, hit well to left field. Backpedaling is Barry, and in front of the warning track, he's able to reach up and make the grab. So the Rangers can't do anything with a leadoff Beltre single. They strand their 4th runner of the day. On to the 5th we go, 6-0 Detroit on Fox Sports Southwest. let's take a look at the AT&T trivia question and answer. Two teams have won the best of 7 in the series, with all the wins being accounted for by the relievers. Rangers were one last year against the Tigers. Who was the other? Cleveland Indians back in 1997 in the League Championship Series against the Orioles. Well, as always, in the 5th inning, Rangers Live co-host Mark McLemore has dropped by to join us and hopefully give us a little different perspective on maybe a different score than 6-0. I don't know. Can you do that, Mac?
I'll let you know at the end of the 5th.
There you go. There you go. Always glad to have Mark come in and talk a little baseball with us. Very enlightened. Matter of fact, I always sit here and take notes. That's write this stuff down. Really. You got some good stuff. That thing yesterday, Prince Fielder leading things off here in the 5th inning with Adrian Beltre. That was great. Glad you were up here for that.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, and I'm sure you guys have both had teammates that played a lot like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fielder hits this ball well to left center field. It's going to be in the gap and one hop off the wall. Fielder cruising into second base as Leonis Martin gets the ball back in. So Prince Fielder, a leadoff double against Michael Kirkman. That's the first hit he has allowed in the 10 hitters that he has faced tonight.
He's got some kind of follow through, boy. All you have to do is see a silhouette of that follow through and you know exactly who it is. No doubt.
Well, the thing I agree with you 100%, Tom, that he's a good hitter, just a good solid hitter who happens to be a big powerful guy too. But first of all and foremost, he's a good hitter.
Yeah, when you put Cabrera and him side by side, they're tough to pitch to. They don't swing at a lot of bad pitches. As we said earlier, they walk their share at times. They can hit lefties. They can hit righties.
That ball's hit pretty well to center field. Martin backpedaling, has room just in front of the warning track. Fielder tags at second. He will advance to third on the long fly off the bat of Delman Young.
Well, Martin's got a good arm, boy. Not that there was any kind of play on that, but just watching him throw the ball from the warning track to the cutoff man, the way he did, you can tell he's got a good arm. Take a look at it. See what you think.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'd have to throw it a lot higher than that to get it that far.
I'd have to throw it to somebody else before I got to that guy.
Cut off, man.
And the Rangers pulling their infield all the way in with Brennan Bosch at the plate. Rangers trailing 6-0, trying to cut down any further damage. Bosch this evening 0 for 2 with a tapper back to the mound and a strikeout. 2 balls and no strikes.
To get back to Cabrera and Fielder, Buzz, earlier you were talking how well they rise to the occasion with men in scoring position, and just to put the numbers to it, they're each hitting right around 300. Cabrera's 345, Fielder's 373 with men in scoring position. So they statistically definitely do rise to the occasion.
And Mac, I know you've played with guys who had that capacity that if they were hitting 100 in a given year, you put somebody at second base with 2 outs or at third base with less than 2 outs, it was money in the bank for those guys.
It really was. You know, three guys come to mind. Edgar Martinez, he was great at it. Alex Rodriguez, and probably the best one of them all for me, Juan Gonzalez.
Yeah.
I mean, Juan, and I tell this all the time, Juan is the only guy that I've ever seen, and the guy that I've played with or against, that can drive you in even if you're not in the game.
That's hard, too.
I'll tell you, he used to tell me, Mac, get to first base. Most run producers want you to get to second base. Get on first base, steal second base. Juan would tell me before the game, Mac, get to first base. That was it.
Get on first so that when I hit a homer, I get 2 RBIs instead of 1.
Now, that's a run producer.
That was a run producer. I mean, a couple years he had 100 RBIs at the break. I was tired. My second half wasn't very good because he wore me out running around the bases.
Michael Kirkman not missing by much on that pitch, but enough. That wasn't quite close enough. Again, that's across the plate from where Jerry Meals is set up to call the pitch, and he has called some that just did catch the strike zone, but not that one. So runners at the corners, 1 out, and Johnny Peralta will step in. Good breaking ball. You know, is that something that you can acquire, that ability to, if you, for lack of a better thing, rise to the occasion? Or is that just your nature?
I think it's your nature, and you learn how to become that guy. It's not you don't have a lot of guys that start off that way. I think you learn how to do it. As you get more comfortable, and some guys get more comfortable sooner than other guys. Mm-hmm. Juan was just that force that when runners were on base, he wanted to drive them in.
I think what most guys hope to do is just be the same hitter with men in scoring position that they are normally. And to do that, I think you have to get over the nervousness that seems to come into play when you've got a man on third base, man on second base. You go, oh man, RBI situation here, and just take your normal at bat. To me, you're a good producer with men in scoring position. If you're a 250 hitter and you hit 250 with men in scoring position, there's a lot of guys that hit less with men in scoring position than their regular average.
1-2 pitch from Kirkman. That's a little nubber. That's going to stay fair for a while. Michael Young fields it right on the line, takes it to the bag, and Brent Fielder able to come down the line from third and score on that little cue shot. So an RBI for Johnny Peralta as he hit the ball about 65 feet, and the Tigers take a 7-0 lead.
Michael wanted to wait for that ball to go foul, but it wasn't going foul. Finally, he said, to get an out, I've got to pick it up and make the play. The ball going down the lines here tends to hug and stay fair. I don't know, what'd you think on that? It looked like it might go foul,
like it was
didn't
going to
it?
go foul.
Yeah, it did. I didn't think so when I saw it live.
Yeah, I think he was waiting, thinking that Peralta might have gotten by him.
So Ramon Santiago at the plate now. The Tigers have taken a 7-0 lead. 7 runs on 9 hits for Detroit. No runs on 3 hits for the Rangers. Texas committing the only error of the ball game. Santiago 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI single.
The stat I'd like to see stats for all the great hitters. You assume, I think, that if a guy's a great hitter, he hits with men in scoring position. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see the stat for all the great hitters who hit higher than their average with men in scoring position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do all great hitters hit for a higher average with men in scoring position? I doubt it.
This pitch popped up. It's playable for Young through the coach's box, and Michael makes the catch. We will continue this as the inning progresses. 1 run on 1 hit and 1 left for Detroit. Halfway through the ball game, the Tigers 7, the Rangers 0 on Fox Sports Southwest. game one of this three-game set. Mark McLemore from Rangers Live is joining us in the booth, and fans trying to figure out something else to do right now. Unless the Rangers score a few runs, they're going to be taking a lot of pictures of each other. Mike Napoli to step in and start things off between Napoli, Martin, and Kinsler to face Rick Porcello, who's allowed just 3 hits through the first 4 innings. Napoli has one of those hits and a swing and a miss on a slider. And we were talking last half inning before we were so rudely interrupted by that final out about guys and hitting with runners in scoring position. Napoli bidding for extra bases down the line and off the tarpaulin. Over to get it is Barry, and Napoli cruising into second base with a leadoff double. And the Rangers now with their leadoff man aboard for the 3rd time in 5 innings tonight, and maybe this time they can break through in the run column and cut this deficit a bit. Napoli shooting the ball the other way his first time up. Kind of rolled over on one, but well, you start getting hits like that, maybe your luck is changing.
Well, Cabrera playing way off the line allowed that ball to get down there. You talk to the Tiger people, and they will say Cabrera's done a really nice job at third base. I think when he moved over from first base, some people might have questioned that.
Now, Fielder does a great job of getting the ball and cutting Napoli off. They get him in a rundown. Napoli stays in it long enough to allow Martin to go from home plate to second base, and that's huge in that kind of a situation. But boy, a heads-up play by Prince Fielder at first base.
How many times, Mac, even in the big leagues, do you see that play botched? I mean, that Fielder makes a great play to get the lead runner and then ends up worse than he was anyway, because now you've got Martin at second base.
Right. First of all, you don't see that play where the first baseman gets it and catches the runner in a rundown.
No.
I'm trying to think of the last time I've ever seen that, but just being able to make that play, keep the run down, and trying to get it to 1 throw, but they had 2, which wasn't bad. But what I like was that Martin was smart enough to get to second base, but now you've got a fast runner on base instead of a slower one.
You would think big league players, the best in the business, that they could run a rundown play so that the hitter can't get to second base.
You would think that.
Wouldn't you?
You would
I
think
mean, your
that.
manager's not happy when that happens, is he?
You work on it long enough. In spring training, you should be able to.
So what's the key? Throwing the ball at the right time?
The key is making the runner commit to going one way or the other.
Uh-huh.
What happens more times than not is that the player that has the ball, he'll throw the ball just to get rid of it because he's nervous.
Throws it too soon.
He throws it way too soon. He's got to make that runner commit to going one way or the other, and it's not by, jogging back and forth.
Peralta, a nice play up the middle. Kinsler's shot down. On to third goes Martin, and he's there with 2 outs. And it'll bring up Elvis Andrus. So let's go back to our Fox Sports Southwest studios for a Mazda CX-5 game break. Here's John Radigan. All right, John, thank you. The Rangers trying to break through against Rick Porcello here in the 5th inning, and Elvis Andrus has been called out both times up there tonight. And I got to think right now, since he has complained to Jerry Meals after each called strike, that he's going to see a lot more opportunities to complain.
Yes.
Well, both those pitches were pitched on the outside that came back and caught the outside corner. He can hit those pitches. He could drive the ball to right field. So I think what he's got to do is understand that's a strike and just swing at it and drive it into right field like he can.
Well, he's not going to get any help from Jerry,
No,
for sure.
I think it'd be a little more off the plate this time.
1-1 pitch. That's chopped right down the line of fair ball. Cabrera on to first, and the Rangers leave Martin at third base. No runs a hit, and 1 man left. Mac, thanks a lot for joining us. We will see you on Rangers Live after the ballgame.
See you later.
See you, Matt.
All right. 7-0 Detroit on Fox Sports Southwest. take on the Minnesota Twins. It's a 6:05 game, and the first 10,000 kids 13 and under receive a Rangers ice cream bowl. Plus, it's Bluebell Ice Cream Sunday, so kids can enjoy the $1 ice cream at the ball game. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Get in line for some of that great ice cream and the ice cream bowl. That's Sunday, July the 8th. Top of the 6th inning, Gerald Laird to start things off. He bluffs a bunt and takes low and inside for Michael Kirkman. Kirkman into his 4th full inning of work here tonight. Took over for Justin Grimm, and Grimm was forced out of the ball game after 2 hitters into the 2nd inning. Kirkman's pitch low and inside again, 2 balls and no strikes. Laird had a single to right field his first time up. Then he was out on a nice sliding catch by Leonis Martin in center field. And takes a strike here. It's 2-1.
Buzz, our ace statistician, Doug Foster.
Yes.
More affectionately known as .com. Come up with some really interesting information. It's kind of what I suspected, too. Good move.
Good decision by Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, I think we're talking about what guys hit with men in scoring position.
Right.
And in any given season, it's just a small capsule because it's not that many at bats, and it can fluctuate a lot. And so you've got Fielder and Cabrera, each hitting right around 300. Cabrera's at 345, Fielder is 373. So if you make your snap judgment on them just based on this year's stats, a third of the way through the season, half the way through the season, you'd say, boy, both of these guys are spectacular. But then when you look at it in their career heading into the season, which Doug did, it comes out a little bit differently, and I'll tell you in just a second.
Okay. 2-2 pitch to Laird. See you later. Called 3rd strike. Michael Kirkman is 3rd strikeout of the evening.
Okay, coming into the season, Fielder's a 284 hitter.
Okay.
With men in scoring position after 8 or 9 years, 282. You kind of gravitate to what you normally hit.
Yeah.
And then with Cabrera, he's a 316 hitter, 327 with runners in scoring position. He's higher, by 11 points.
11 points,
but,
yeah.
Kind of around what he hits.
Same ballpark,
So that'd be interesting, and I'm sure there's sabermetricians listening going, you idiots should already know that, but do most hitters over time seem to gravitate toward their regular batting average with men in scoring position, or are there guys who are significantly different?
Yeah, you would think over time, and there's a swinging strike by Austin Jackson, over a long enough period of time, you would think that their runners in scoring position average would be pretty close to what their overall average would be.
Yeah. And then in which case, observations like we have may not be borne out statistically. Like, is a guy a tremendous hitter with men in scoring position? Well, if he's a 350 hitter, he probably is. But because he hits 350 with men in scoring position, he's a 350 hitter anyway.
Well, let me give you an example. Hitters with runners in scoring position don't always score the runs. And that's one thing we forget. That doesn't factor in sacrifice flies. That doesn't factor in scoring a guy on a ground ball with the infield playing back with a runner at third.
Instead of striking out.
Yeah. Putting the ball in play when an out is going to score a run. So runners in scoring position average doesn't really tell the story completely. There's a strike to the inside corner, and it's 3-2 now to Austin Jackson. To me, scoring the run is more important than what you hit with runners in scoring position. How often do you get guys home? And part of that is runners in scoring position average. But you can get a base hit with runners in scoring position and not score a run.
Right. But if you've got a slow runner on second, you hit a line drive to right field. To me, that's a legitimate base hit.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, you can get an infield hit with a man on second, break your bat, and hit a little dribbler, and get credit for a hit with men in scoring position. There's not much you can do to eliminate those kind of situations.
Now, Kirkman loses Jackson on the walk, and that is the second free pass issued by Michael. Kirkman now up to 66 pitches, so this is the longest outing that certainly he has had at the major league level this year with the Rangers, pitch-wise. And he'll face Quentin Berry. The good strike to the outside corner. And, you know, the other part of it, Tom, I think, and I mentioned to you between innings, that the guys that scared me the most weren't the ones that had the gaudy statistics necessarily, but they were the ones who changed as the kind of hitter they were when a run could score on a base hit and be important. And the example I gave you was Brooks Robinson, who, you know, Brooks, when I faced him late in his career, was probably a 230 to 245 hitter. And I'll guarantee you the games that I saw him play against our teams, he must have hit 9,000 when he had somebody on second base and the run meant something in that ball game, because he became a completely different hitter. He was primarily a pull hitter as a right-handed hitter with nobody on base, or if it was just a normal at bat. You get somebody where a base hit could drive him in and make a difference in the game. Everything he hit was either to right field or right center. And he just completely went crazy doing that. And, you know, we allowed it until we kind of figured it out. But he'd only been doing it by that time for, I don't know, 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
Oh, 0-2 the count to Berry. And the pitch is high.
Well, with the electronic age being the way it is, and baseball statistics being studied in ways that they've never been studied before, I'm sure brilliant people can come up with players over time who have noticeably been guys who statistically do hit better with men in scoring position than other people. The other thing that I've seen in my lifetime in baseball is a lot of times what I thought I saw with my eyes is not exactly what statistics bear out.
Well, yeah, and part of that, statistics paint a mural for you. They give you the whole panorama of whatever time frame you're looking at, but they don't give you a snapshot of what's going to go on that particular at bat or that particular game from any individual.
No, of course not.
And that's where us as players, there's a swing strike three, so good pitch down and in by Michael Kirkman. Gets the strikeout. There are two gone, and Cabrera coming up. So when you try to apply statistics to what's going to happen this at bat or in this game, it doesn't tell you.
No.
And that's what we see is when we're watching baseball games, we're watching what's happening now. And statistics may or may not apply in that particular situation.
No, you know, it's just like defensive alignments. You position your defensive players for one at bat, where statistically over time it tells you they're going to hit the ball.
Right.
But if they pull the ball 90% of the time, 10% of the time they might hit a line drive the other way. You never know what's going to happen in any one at bat. The statistic I would love to see is who are the guys over time who are the guys best hitters with men in scoring position. There's got to be a way to figure that out. Who were they? And who are the great hitters who are noticeably less? Because great hitters hit third, fourth, fifth in the lineup, and they're always going to have more chances. So to me, RBIs can be kind of misleading, especially if you hit 50 points below your regular average with men in scoring position.
And Cabrera going to right center field again. That ball's going to go to the wall. Jackson turning on the Jets. He's coming around third. Kinsler's throw not nearly in time. And Miguel Cabrera, an opposite alley double, drives in his third run of the game. And the Tigers take an 8-0 lead.
Mac was talking about Juan Gonzalez saying, get to first base and I'll drive you in. It's a nice thing to do, have a man on first base when you hit a ball like that, to have that kind of speed to pick up an RBI, because there are a lot of guys going to end up on third base on that ball as quickly as the Rangers got the relay throw home from Kinsler.
And now here's Prince Fielder, who is 1 out of 2. Double, a run scored, also a run on a sacrifice fly. The RBI for Fielder is 46th. AT&T Uverse reverse replay. And boy, deja vu all over again. First inning. And a couple of runners aboard. Jackson and Berry in front of that opposite field gapper double for Miguel Cabrera, who just did it again here in the 6th inning. Well, he has driven in 3 with a couple of doubles. 22 doubles for Cabrera this year. Kirkman back to the plate with the 0-1. And misses off the plate outside. Well, Doug just handed me a note. We're talking about this. The stat has only been kept since 1974 on runners in scoring position.
Okay.
So we can't go back and see what Babe Ruth did.
Yeah, you can't really get exactly what you're looking for.
Low and outside. Right now, the career leaders in runners in scoring position average. Joey Votto of the Reds, 352. Tony Gwynn, Padres, hit 350. Rod Carew, 347. I contributed a lot to Rod's being up there. Kirkman's next pitch, a fastball right down through there. Albert Pujols, a 341 hitter. Runners in scoring
so all
position.
those guys hit higher than their regular average with men in scoring position.
And Joe Mauer at 340 with runners in scoring position. Mark Lowe getting loose in the Ranger bullpen. And when you look at that list, most of those guys were recognized for their ability to be run producers for their teams.
You would predict that those guys were in that list.
2-2 the count now to Fielder as he chopped one foul. Although it's funny, you look at certainly Votto and Carew noted for their power, but the other three guys, Gwynn, Carew, and Mauer, not so much. And Gwynn and Carew were basically singles hitters the way they were looked at. I mean, they could do other things, but of course they hit about 600 singles a year. That's out of play to the left.
Well, guys like Gwynn and Carew, hitting in the top of the lineup for a lot of their careers, didn't get the same opportunities to drive in as many runs as guys in the middle of the lineup, and they wouldn't have as many RBIs because they didn't hit the long ball. The long ball gets you a lot of RBIs too.
And a guy we've seen pretty consistently over the last 11 years, Michael Young. He's 13th on that list all time at 324.
Yep.
Swing and a miss, and Kirkman gets punch out number 5, but it comes a hitter too late. Tigers get a run on one hit, leave one. After 5.5, it's now Detroit 8 and Texas nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Well, it's time for the Sonic Slam Inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $700 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Bessie Hurst of Bedford. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during the inning, Bessie Hurst of Bedford will win $25,000. And you can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. So hang on, Bessie, here comes Josh Hamilton hitting for you. It'll be Hamilton, Beltre, and Young to face Rick Porcello. Porcello very economical, 74 pitches thus far. Hamilton hits one high in the air to right center field, not carrying all that well. Austin Jackson able to go into the gap and makes the catch for out number 1. Well, Hamilton 0 for 2 with a walk as he makes the right-hand turn at first base. And will bring up Adrian Beltre. Porcello has only had one 1-2-3 inning, and that was in the third. A couple of strikeouts and a line drive by Hamilton. Other than that, he's had a base runner in every frame, and Rangers just have not been able to group anything together against the sinker baller. Beltre takes a pitch low and outside. Adrian 1 for 2, a single in the fourth inning as he led things off. Beltre at .325 with the average. Goes after the next pitch, lines it fair down the left field line and headed toward the corner. Oh, Adrian Beltre smoking hot as he gets into second base with a 1-out double.
Yeah, he got him the first time, but he's going to have to throw him a great sinker to get him the way he's swinging the bat right now.
Beltre with his 17th double of the season. And Adrian Beltre safe at second, safe and secure, New York life. Rangers now with 5 hits against Porcello. That is their second double of the night. Mike Napoli had a double last inning. And up the middle goes Michael Young. Flagged down nicely by Peralta, but he has no play. Young will get a base hit. On to third base goes Beltre. And runners at the corners with 1 out, and Nelly Cruz coming up. So the Rangers trying to climb back in this ball game against Porcello and the Tigers.
That kind of speaks to the point you made earlier in the game, Bud. The Tiger infielders can catch what they can get to. They're not blessed with great range. So Peralta did a nice job of keeping that ball from going into the outfield for an RBI, but it's probably a play someone like Eric Ibar, Elvis Andrus goes to their left and makes the play on.
Right.
And so there's a hit that Porcello gives up that with maybe a little more range in the infield turns into an out.
And for a guy like Porcello, that really makes a big difference.
Yeah,
now, Verlander, it doesn't make as much of a difference because he doesn't rely on a lot of balls being put in play and caught.
Right.
Here's Nelly Cruz 0 for 2 and a big rip and a miss. Yeah, Nelly trying to hit that ball to South Dallas. Cruz tonight is grounded out to second and struck out. With 1 out, the middle of the Tiger infield playing a double play depth. Third baseman Cabrera playing very deep, and the pitch inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Remember last year the Tigers never did figure out in the postseason how to get Nelly Cruz out. He was the ALCS MVP. He just went crazy against the Tigers. A pitch on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. He had 6 home runs and drove in 13 against Detroit. He had 364 against the Tigers in the postseason. There's the line on Rick Porcello. 81 pitches through 5 1/3. Got him swinging. Went upstairs that time with a slider, and Cruz couldn't capture it. That is strikeout number 6, which ties Porcello's season high, and is only 2 shy of his career high in strikeouts.
Yeah, that I don't think is where he was trying to throw that slider. That's where you throw the slider and end up watching it go about 450 feet. Just not that time. Got away with it that time.
So with 2 outs, will be up to David Murphy. Sinkers out of the strike zone. Brian Villarreal starting to get loose in that Tiger bullpen. Tiger bullpen's been pretty good of late too. ERA below 2 for the last month. Just off the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes to David Murphy. Flied out to left field and fouled out to third base. And David Murphy, who said he prefers to face guys right-handed sinker ballers because he likes to go the other way with them. And he's gotten a hit in the count, 3-0 to Porcello. Although I'm not sure a guy with the sinker that Porcello has exactly what David had in mind. He had Porcello's sinker that has been pretty good tonight when he's gotten it down in the zone. Makes it a little tough. 3-0 pitch. And that's ball 4. So that'll load the bases for Mike Napoli. And Bessie Hurst of Bedford, hang on to your seat, because a home run by Napoli right here would win you $25,000.
Well, you got the right formation, and you got one of the good guys up there to do it. Knapp's had a couple of hits in the game. He had a double down the left field line. He had a base hit to right. And he's also had a grand slam, 3 of them.
Jeff Jones out to have a chat with Rick Porcello as Villarreal continues to lose in the bullpen. For the first time for the Rangers since back in the first inning, they've had more than one runner aboard at a time against Porcello. And Mike Napoli trying to make a big dent in this 8-0 deficit that the Rangers face. Knapp 2 for 2 tonight. A single and a double on Porcello's first pitch. There's a good sinker in there for strike 1. And Napoli showing signs now of heating up a bit, along with the temperatures in early summer. Very much like he did last year, the last half of the season. Actually, from July 1st on last year. Check swing and a foul tip. Goes back to the screen. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Now, Porcello will give up his share of home runs, and not a lot of home runs. He averages just a little more than 1 per every 9 innings. And for a sinker baller, that's kind of high, but
better recently. He hasn't given up as many recently.
Yep.
And you have to think, Buzz, when the sinker's sinking like it is so far tonight, not as apt to. Although he's gotten some of those sinkers belled high.
Yeah.
Got that slider belled high to Nelly Cruz.
Good job by Napoli to check his swing on. There was a slider you were talking about, Tom. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jim Leland having moments get a little tense for him.
Closer to the strike zone than it looked.
The 1-2 pitch on the way. Check swing, and did he go around? He appealed down to first base, and Gary Darn said nope. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Justin Verlander on that top step, seeing if he can do a little lobbying for his mound mate.
Good call. Checked it in time.
All those pitchers, they always want every call to go their way.
Well, number one, he's got a terrible view with a right-hand hitter up there.
Fastball is high, and the count has gone full. So the string has been played out as far as Rick Porcello can take it, with Mike Napoli, no place to put him. And the Rangers, who have struck for some big innings the last couple of weeks, need a key hit here from Mike Napoli to get that streak going again. The runners will be moving. The payoff pitch got him swinging. Now Porcello comes back with a huge strikeout of Napoli, and the Rangers leave the bases full with 2 hits and a walk. We'll go to the 7th in Arlington. It's Detroit 8 and Texas 0 on Fox Sports Southwest. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. You want to break up with a vehicle that's breaking down? Then head to your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best in Texas. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Jack in the Box. Right now, you can try Jack's Chipotle Chicken Club Combo for only $4.99 plus tax. This large crowd on hand once again tonight. They have been disappointed so far. Rangers trailing 8-0, and Mark Lowe has come out of the Ranger bullpen to take over on the mound. Michael Kirkman went 5 innings, I should say, in relief of the starter, Justin Grimm.
And you have to say that Michael did a very solid job. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs. He gave you the innings. He hung in there, kept the team as close as he could. Mark Lowe come in, having a solid season himself. Rangers probably are in the enviable position of having a couple of guys in their bullpen.
Delman Young drives it to right field. Easy play for Nelly Cruz, back a few steps. And that's out number 1.
Who can give you 5 innings? Certainly Scott Feldman can. He's just come out of the rotation. Kirkman was in a rotation in the minor leagues. They've got a couple of guys in the bullpen who could throw 80 pitches and give you 5 or 6 innings. Not many teams have 2 guys like that. In addition to that, Robbie Ross, Tanner Scheppers have frequently thrown more than 1 inning. Tanner, most of his in the minor leagues. Robbie, 28 appearances and 40 innings, so he's done it a number of times too. A lot of innings out there, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you need them.
First pitch to Brennan Bosch is a little bit low for ball 1. Bosch has walked, and other than that, grounded out and struck out tonight. Tigers 8 runs on 10 hits. The Rangers no runs on 6 hits. And Mark Lowe misses up and away. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Bosch. Lowe has the sign he wants. The right-hander ready to work. And Bosch pops it up. Behind third base, Adrian Beltre backpedaling. And the Ranger third sacker puts it away for out number 2.
Tigers have 10 hits in the game. Unfortunately, 7 of them came in the first inning. Since that time, they've only had 3 hits. A couple of doubles in the 5th and 6th off Michael Kirkman led to a couple of runs.
The base is empty, 2 out. Johnny Peralta to the plate. And he takes a slider down and away. Peralta, an RBI double back in the first inning. Then he had an RBI in the 5th inning on a ground out. So he's gotten his RBI total now up to 20 for the season. Low back to him, and that fastball hits the outside corner. It's 1-1. Well, Mark Lowe of late has really been good as far as throwing strikes, and that's the one thing that's held him back at times is the command a little bit spotty. Good slider there. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now, the change that he made in his delivery could possibly have taken a couple of miles an hour off his fastball, but it seems to have made him more consistent, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think it's helped his slider too.
Yeah.
Gotten his arm up a little faster. His slider looks like it's going downward more. It's got a little tilt to it. That's a great thing to have. Well, the UTAX back to the plate. A swinging strike 3. And Mark Lowe with a very tidy 1-2-3 inning. It's stretch time at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Detroit 8 and Texas 0 on Fox Sports South. Up to be a Whataburger What fan. Don't miss this chance to win great prizes and to meet one of your Texas Rangers at Whataburger. Now we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Leonis Martin to start things off. Rick Porcello back out there, and he has a new component to his defensive backing. We'll tell you about that in just a second. First pitch to Martin is outside for ball 1. Don Kelly gets into the ball game, takes over for Brennan Bosch in right field. So Kelly in right, Jackson still in center, Barry in left field. Porcello with his 94th pitch of the night. It's low and inside, and he's fallen behind 2-0. Leonis Martin, a couple of fielder's choice groundouts tonight. And the 2-0 pitch is very high. It's 3 balls, no strikes.
Porcello has only thrown 106 pitches for his highest total. He's only been over 100 pitches 5 or 6 times.
Right-hander back to the plate and misses low and inside. A 4-pitch walk, and that's how the 7th inning starts for the Rangers. Martin aboard, and the top of the order coming up. Bill Koch, the left-hander. Ryan Villarreal, the right-hander. And Jim Leland said, that's it. I want the right-hander to come on in to face the top of the Ranger order. So Porcello goes 1 hitter deep into the 7th inning tonight. And he will leave with Martin his responsibility at first base. He has allowed 6 hits to the Rangers. The walk to Martin was his 3rd of the night. Villarreal coming on. And we will tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back right after this. Oh, the 25-year-old Venezuelan on for Rick Porcello. He will face Ian Kinsler with Leonis Martin at first. And the Rangers trailing 8-0 at the moment. Tomorrow's pitchers, it's going to be a dandy. Drew Smiley, the left-hander, facing Yu Darvish, who's going for his 10th victory of 2012. Villarreal to the plate and the pitch inside for ball 1.
Yeah, he's putting up some pretty unusual numbers. Opponents are hitting 128 against him. 34 strikeouts in 23 innings. Been about untouchable. Walked 10 guys if you want to look for something. Only giving up 1 home run.
Ian Kinsler hits one high and deep down the left field line. In a hurry is Barry, and just before he steps across the line into foul territory, he makes the catch. Ian Kinsler getting one down toward the trademark just enough to keep that in the ballpark. And Martin standing first. There's now 1 out for Elvis Andrus. That ball looked a lot better coming off the bat than it did once it got out there.
Yeah, it did.
Ran out of steam. The 1 gone. Elvis steps in 0 for 3. He has been called out on strikes twice and grounded to third. Villarreal came up last year for his first taste of big league action, appeared in 16 ball games. And the right-hander back to the plate, and that's low and outside for ball one.
Well, he's got some heat on his fastball, 96, 97 miles an hour. He's a guy who in the minor leagues, 384 innings coming into this season, had 359 strikeouts. So he had fewer strikeouts than innings pitched over his minor league career. But this year at the big league level, way more strikeouts than innings pitched.
And Elvis hits one into the gap in left center field. Going over is Jackson. He tracks it down just before he steps onto the cinders. You know, Elvis gave that a pretty good ride to left center field, but it came up a little bit short, and that's out number 2 with Josh Hamilton coming up. And Austin Jackson turning into one of the better center fielders in, if not all of baseball, certainly the American League. He can cover some ground out there.
That's good to have in their ballpark, as deep as it is to center field. There's a lot of room to roam at the Tiger ballpark.
So here's Josh, 0 for 2 with a walk. Tigers don't employ a complete overshift. They certainly do favor the right side against Hamilton. Third baseman Miguel Cabrera playing very, very deep, as you can see, and well off the line. But shortstop Peralta shading up the middle. 0-1 pitch. Waved at and foul tipped into and out of the glove of Gerald Laird. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Josh, other than the walk tonight, is lined to second and skied to center field. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and belted. There she goes. Goodbye. Josh Hamilton, a 2-run home run, and the Rangers cut the deficit to 6. Josh with his 23rd of the year and his first home run since San Francisco on the 8th of June.
Villarreal had a 1.16 ERA, only giving up 1 home run. Gets that slider inside. Maybe not as far inside he hoped to get it. Not far enough to get Josh from keeping it on the good part of the bat as he lined it out of here.
And Adrian Beltre takes the first pitch outside. Oh, that's a terrible sound. I wake up hearing that sound every once in a while night. Sounds like you're bouncing a ball bearing off a metal floor. Swing and a miss. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Adrian. 409 feet the measurement on the blast by Hamilton. No, Josh, 23 home runs, 66 runs driven in for the season. 1-1 pitch to Beltre. That's way outside. Adrian tonight 2 for 3, a single and a double. Season numbers, that batting average continuing to rise. He was 3rd in the American League in batting average coming into play tonight, and he has gone up a few clicks. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. And 97-mile-an-hour fastball with some cut on it, and Villarreal showing some pretty good stuff. You can get the ball down in the strike zone and throw it at 97 and still have it cut for you. That's a pretty impressive pitch. Now the 2-2. Line drive, base hit, center field. Then you throw it 96 and up a little bit, and you're facing a hot hitter, and Beltre says, thank you very much.
Yeah, if you throw it 100 and throw it there to him, he's going to hit it. 3 more hits for Adrian tonight. Came into the game at 323.
Bill Koch continuing to loosen. You have to look a couple of spots down in the order, probably to David Murphy's spot before Koch would be called on. But Beltre aboard. Rangers now with 8 hits against the duo of Porcello and Villarreal. Michael Young to the plate, 1 for 3 tonight. Ball one. Young with that single his last time up. Has that batting mark back up over the 270 average. 271 currently. And he goes the other way, kind of off the end of the bat. A lazy fly ball to right. Kelly's out there, and Don Kelly puts it away. Side retired, but Josh Hamilton gets the Rangers on the board for the first time. 2-run home run. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ace Cash Express, earning your trust since 1968. And by Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org. The Rangers started their trip by going to homerun.org. Josh Hamilton home run. They got a couple back, now trail by 6. Mark Lowe out to face Ramon Santiago to start off the top of the 8th inning. And Santiago, first ball swinging, little pop-up. Elvis takes it away from Ian Kinsler. That's out number 1. And Mark Lowe has come on to retire the first 4 that he's faced, and now Gerald Laird will come up. Here's the Brown Hens that are great hands of the game. Gerald Laird is center field. Leonis Martin, a nice sliding catch. The young center fielder. Great hands, great speed, great arm. What else you want from a center fielder? But those are three pretty good requisites that you can fulfill.
The Ranger bullpen in the last couple of days is going to have to throw 12 innings. One thing that's helped today is Michael Kirkman threw 5. Mark Lowe usually is a 1-inning pitcher, but he's only thrown 11 pitches to get 4 outs. Get him a couple more quick outs, he might end up throwing 3 innings tonight, so Wash didn't have to use anybody else. Sheppers has pitched 2 days in a row, right, Buzz?
Yep. And effectively 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Very effectively.
Feldman would be the long man tomorrow. Wouldn't want to use him. Then you've got Ross, Adams, and Nathan. Well, ideally, you'd love to see Mark do something he probably hasn't done very often, throw 3 innings.
And he's got Laird down in a hole at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mark Lowe, 13 pitches so far, 8 of them strikes. And number 14 on the way, just off the outside corner. 2-2 to Laird. Gerald and I 1 for 3, a first inning single. You saw that great catch that Leonis Martin made in center to rob Laird of his second hit. And last time up, Gerald called out on strikes. Low back to him. And the breaking ball in the dirt. The count has gone full. So Laird trying to get aboard with 1 out. The top of the order is waiting, and that's headed by Austin Jackson. Denton Ryan X. Low set to go. Payoff pitch. Ball 4, and Laird is aboard. No first walk issued by Mark Lowe. Now the all-new $2 Powerball from the Texas Lottery has landed, and the current estimated annuitized jackpot is $40 million. Play today because Powerball has changed for the bigger. 1 on, 1 out. Jackson a walk and a double in 3 official trips. Was after the first pitch and skies to left field. Easy play for Josh Hamilton. That is out number 2. Laird staying at first, and it will bring up Quentin Berry. Mark Lowe getting a lot of aggressive swings early in the count, and he's taking advantage of it. Matter of fact, he had Laird down in the hole at 1 and 2, and ended up losing him. But other than that, he's really had him putting the ball in play quickly. Quentin Berry, left fielder, left-handed hitter up there. He's been aboard 3 times tonight, once with a walk, once with a base hit, and once with an error. And there's a familiar face of Joaquin Benoit starting to loosen in the Tiger bullpen. Down and into Berry, the first pitch from Lowe misses. 1 ball and no strikes. Berry, a couple of runs scored tonight. He has a stolen base. Also reached on Ian Kinsler's 10th error of the year. That came back in the 4th inning. And the next pitch way inside and low, and Berry skipping rope to get out of the way of that. 2-0 the count. Berry back in there. And Mark Lowe, a check of Laird at first. 2-0 pitch is popped foul. That will reach the seats just to the home plate side of the Tiger dugout. And the count is 2-1. Mentioned Berry, his contract purchased by the Tigers back on May 23rd when he was with AAA. It's Toledo. He had 270 down there, 19 stolen bases in the early part of the year. Skies this one to center. Another lazy fly ball that Leonis Martin comes in, handles easily. And the side retired. No runs, no hits. The Walker left stranded. We have 7.5 in the books for Arlington. It's the Tigers 8 and the Rangers 2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Southwest Airlines are offering a chance to win a trip for four to watch your home team play in Los Angeles. Register to win at MetroPCFFlyaway.com. 40 years of baseball. Tom, you've seen just about all of them too, and there's
quite a bit.
This is as much excitement as I can think of, despite the score of tonight's game. I mean, this is fantastic. The 2012 season here in Arlington.
Yeah, it's kind of built up to this, obviously, over the last couple of years. 2 World Series performances. There's been spurts of it in the past, of incredibly exciting things that have happened, but nothing sustained like this day after day after day. It gets to be where there's less than 40,000 people at the ball game. You're surprised.
Yeah, just short of that
great
tonight.
To see. More fans than ever. More people wearing Ranger gear all over the state of Texas. All over the road when we're traveling.
Yeah, Nelly Cruz gone on strikes. He has struck out for the 3rd time tonight. One away, David Murphy coming up. That's what amazes me, I think. Let's go down to Emily Jones. She's got some stuff for us.
And then finish with Holland. Uh-oh, where's Emily?
Okay, we'll get back to Emily.
Well, I think Dana was making a brief appearance. But I was going to say that I thought Ian Kinsler put it really well in talking about the fan support, not of the Detroit Tiger fans behind me, but the Texas Ranger fans, saying that they have come to expect it. They don't take it for granted, but they've come to expect a rowdy crowd here night in and night out.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
We expect it because it's what we're seeing, but we never take it for granted. And I think the fans can appreciate how the players appreciate them. Sometimes you don't know that they hear what you yell, but they appreciate it. They do hear it.
The 2-1 pitch coming to David Murphy. And that's fouled out of play. You know, and as often as guys are asked about that to a man, the Ranger players have said, hey, we really do take it to heart, and it makes us a better ball team at home. And I think that's an important point to keep in mind, too, that, you know, folks are coming out to have a good time and cheer on the Rangers, but it has an impact on how well the ball club plays, too.
There it is again. No one has that happen more than David Murphy. Knocked the catcher's glove right off his hand.
No catcher's interference. David Murphy has at least 1 or 2 of those every single year, it seems like.
Yeah, he does.
That goes down as an error on Gerald Laird, but no at bat for David Murphy. Credit Laird with an error. And no at bat for Murphy. So he's aboard with 1 out. And here's Mike Napoli, who fouls the first pitch back. Napoli 2 for 3. Single, double, and strikeout. That strikeout will probably be the one that sticks with Knapp for a little while. He had the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 6th inning. And went down swinging. Pitch is outside to even the count and a ball and a strike. Napoli at 246 with the average. David Murphy a modest lead at first. Tried to check his swing on that hard breaking ball and could not do it. It's 1-2. Villarreal really has a sharp slider. He's shown the ability to zip that fastball up there in the upper 90s at times.
Yeah, it looks like Villarreal is the Tiger version of Alexio Gondo.
And a called 3rd strike. Mike Napoli just could not make himself swing at that slider. He was hoping to be out of the strike zone because he was backing away. And that is the 2nd strikeout, 2 gone. And let's go to Jim Knox now. Jim?
All right, Steve, real quick time for progressive fan of the game. It has to be Marusa right here along with Alex. They came all the way from Ukraine to watch the Rangers. How'd you become Ranger fan?
A month ago we followed Rangers online, and our friends from Dallas buy tickets for tonight, and we are very excited. Go Rangers!
All right, very good. Marissa, what'd you like best about the game?
Everything.
Everything. Okay, say in your native tongue, Ukrainian, tell us, go Rangers.
Rangers вперед!
There we go. All right, here's the bag. Congratulations. Ukraine fired up about the Rangers.
Wow.
That's
All
great,
right,
Noxie.
We were just talking about Ranger stuff on the road. That's going a little bit beyond the road. That the Ukraine.
Yeah, we were pretty happy to get some food from Florida, but man, it takes it to a different level. You always wonder what people who have no idea what baseball is, what they think about it when they come to a game.
Yeah. Well, knowing Jim Knox, he's going to find out from him if they're out here. Pitch on the corner to Leonis Martin. That makes it 2 balls and 1 strike.
Now, do you think Jim finds them, or do they come and find him?
I don't know. It may be on, if they're on a tour, it may be part of the tour itinerary to look up Jim Knox.
To meet Jim
on
Knox.
Yeah. That's out of play. It's 2-2.
Fly to Texas, get to see the Texas Rangers, and spend an inning with Jim Knox.
Yep.
That's why they came here.
Yep. Bottom of the 8th inning, make sure you hook up with Jim Knox, and he'll put you on the fan of the game show.
I bet they were never interviewed at a hockey game or a soccer game in Russia.
I wouldn't think so. 2-2 pitch to Martin, and that's out of play. They might have been, however, if they hadn't been wearing Ranger gear. I mean, they've had that for every sporting event they go to, probably.
What's the sport that we would have to go to in another country that we've never seen before, that we'd get interviewed and have no idea how you played?
Martinez shot to center field. That's a good question. I have to think about that for a minute. I mean, cricket is the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, it's related, but we wouldn't know how to play.
Yeah. Well, a 2-out single puts 2 runners aboard, and Jim Leland on his way to the mound. He's got Ian Kinsler coming to the plate. Takes the ball from Brian Villarreal, and he wants to get Joaquin Benoit into the contest. Benoit will make his way in from the left center field bullpen. He'll become the 3rd pitcher used tonight. And Jim Leland calling for the veteran right-hander. 8-2 Detroit. Back right after this.
Eighth inning. A lot of people have been asking the question, what has been going on with Josh Hamilton and the toothpicks? Well, here's the explanation.
I stopped dipping, so when I'm in the field is obviously the hardest. So I chew gum, and they are tea tree oil toothpicks.
What is that?
That's a good question. But it tastes really good, and Brandon Snyder gave them to me, so I'm trying them.
So he is now 2 days in with no chewing tobacco, using the tea tree oil toothpicks. He says he breaks it in half so he can have a smaller toothpick in his mouth and it's less dangerous. So that is the explanation behind Josh Hamilton and the toothpicks lately, guys.
All right, Em, thank you. I appreciate that.
Em, do you need us to send a little bit of muscle down there to take care of those Tiger fans for you? Or can you handle it yourself?
What'd you say, Tom?
Do you need us to send a little muscle down there to handle those Tiger fans? Can you
I've got
handle
them taken care of fully. Thank you very much.
I knew you did. I just wanted to offer that.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Ian Kinsler now finds himself in an 0-1 hole to Joaquin Benoit. Benoit, the setup man for the Tigers. And Jim Leland, usually in a ball game like this, where he sees things maybe starting to creep back toward the opposition a bit, will go to Benoit, go to his late inning guys to prevent the thing from snowballing on them. Check swing by Kinsler in the pitch just a little bit outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. There are the numbers on Joaquin Benoit.
Yeah, Tigers paid Benoit a lot of money. Gave him a 3-year contract for $5 or $6 million a year. Had a good year for him last year. He's having a good year for him this year.
Joaquin ready. You got Murphy at second, Martin at first. And a 1-1 pitch coming to Ian Kinsler. Big swing and a foul back. Kinsler tonight is 1 for 4. Had a single back in the first inning and hasn't been able to get aboard since. Facing Joaquin Benoit, and remember, Benoit came up with the Rangers initially back in 2001. Up and down for the next several years. Pulled foul. That almost got Dave Anderson. He had to get that little jump step working as he got up out of the way. Once you got the quick feet, I guess you never lose them.
That's right. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about that.
I wouldn't either. I've heard that.
The only thing I can say is once you have bad hands, you'll never lose them.
Yeah.
I found that out.
1-2 the count to Kinsler. Benoit, a check of second in his customary slow down mode, comes to the plate, and Kinsler fouls it back. Joaquin up and down with the Rangers from 2001 through 2008. Suffered some arm problems, had surgery, missed all of 2009, then signed on with the Tampa Bay Rays for the 2010 season. Had a great year with them, and that really propelled him into that long-term contract that Tom mentioned with Detroit. Pitched 1 year for Tampa, appeared in 63 games, and just was outstanding coming back from surgery.
I think that might have been the one thing that kept other teams from going as high and for as many years as the Tigers went on Joaquin was questions about his health. But he's answered that with the Tigers so far. He's been durable and very effective. Great setup, man.
Kinsler waiting. And Benoit with the 1-2 pitch once again. It's a little bit low, that split fingered pitch. And Kinsler able to lay off of it. Count is even at 2-2. Some more action out in the left field bullpen. Again, Jim Leland leaving nothing to chance as he has his closer up, Jose Valverde. Rangers threatening here in the 8th. Josh Hamilton's 2-run home run got them on the board in the 7th. And the Rangers just 2 base runners away from having the tying run come to the plate. The 2-2 pitch. Popped him up. Shallow center field. Santiago going out calling for the fair catch. And he makes it. That will do it. The Rangers get 2 aboard on a catcher's interference and a base hit. They strand 2. 9th inning coming up from Arlington. 8-2, the Tigers leading the Rangers on Fox Sports Southwest. For the 2012 MLB All-Star Game. It's in Kansas City. Vote now at TexasRangers.com to send your favorite Rangers to the All-Star Game along with their skipper, Ron Washington. And when you cast your 25 ballots and select the Rangers as your favorite team, you'll be rewarded with a special ticket offer. Here, John Blake tell you about the voting earlier in the ball game. Adrian Beltre leading at third, and Josh Hamilton leading the outfield. Mike Napoli leading at catcher, but Ian Kinsler and Nelly Cruz need some votes. They trail at their spots by 90,000 votes. Miguel Cabrera starting things off against Mark Lowe, who's out there for his third inning of work tonight. Lowe has retired 6 of the 7 that he's faced. The only blemish, a walk to Gerald Laird in the 8th inning. Cabrera, a couple of run-producing doubles tonight, driving in 3. He is 3 for 4. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Cabrera, with those 3 RBI, upping his RBI total to 59 for the season. And the next pitch in the dirt. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Well, after Justin only got 1 inning under his belt, if Kirkman and Lowe can pitch the rest of the game, 8 innings, that's pretty good for 2 relievers, especially one like Mark, who's not used to pitching that much. That's kind of stepping up and getting the job done.
Good breaking ball, and that finds the outside corner. It's 2-1. And Michael Kirkman, you know, it's been a while since he's had to throw that many innings, that many pitches, that many innings. I thought he did a very credible job coming in tonight.
I thought he threw the ball great. And you say, well, yeah, well, what difference did it make? The Rangers are behind by 6 runs. Well, it makes a big difference for tomorrow's game, because by those 2 guys pitching 8 innings, then you don't have to use Scott Feldman, who might be needed for a long man, Sheppers, who's pitched 2 days in a row, and then Ross, Adams, and Nathan, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys that you might want tomorrow. Nathan pitched 30 pitches yesterday, so there weren't a lot of alternatives.
3-2 pitch to Cabrera is just off the outside corner. And Cabrera takes the walk. Lead-off pass here in the 9th inning, and Prince Fielder will come up. Now, before Prince Fielder steps in, let's throw it on out to Dana Larson, who's getting ready for Rangers Live. Dana?
Thank you, Buzz. After a brief cameo moments ago, I'm thrilled to officially be part of the broadcast here right now and remind you that the postgame show is coming up. We'll get Ron Washington's thoughts on this game tonight. Also, much more on Derek Holland's first step towards rejoining this rotation, and Yu Darvish's bid for double-digit victories coming your way tomorrow. So be sure to join us right after the game, guys.
All right, Dana, thanks very much. A lot to look forward to, and yeah, it will be Yu Darvish tomorrow. He'll be opposed by left-hander Drew Smiley. Rangers saw Smiley for 5 innings up in Detroit in April. So they're not a stranger to the master of the soft toss. 1-0 pitch is a fastball that catches the inside corner to Prince Fielder. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. And don't forget that on Wednesday, it's Roy Oswald making his second start in a Ranger uniform. He'll take on the Tigers, and Doug Fister, left-hander, will be his opponent. 1-1 pitch, a little cue shot foul down the third base line. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Whoa.
There you go. Alberto Gonzalez loosening up.
Well,
Craig Gentry.
You know, Gentry's not available tonight,
right.
Buzz.
That's right. He got a bad ankle, so he can't pitch. And Alberto Gonzalez. Again, Ron Washington had said a lot of times when asked about it, would you ever use a position play? He said, I'm really against it. It would have to be a last resort. And, Tom, when you detailed the guys in the bullpen, what they've done lately, how much they've thrown, this may be a last resort.
It is a last resort, yeah. He just doesn't want to use Scott Feldman tonight in case he needs him.
One-two pitch, and that's in the dirt. Nice stop by Knapp. Scott Feldman had been up a couple of times. And you'd like to have a little in reserve if necessary. Fielder out momentarily, now getting back in to face Mark Lowe. 31 pitches, 15 strikes, 16 balls for the Ranger right-hander, so he may be running on fumes out there right now. And Fielder hits a towering fly ball to shallow right field. Nelly Cruz waiting for it to come down out of the night sky, puts it away. That's out number 1, and he will bring up Delman Young. Miguel Cabrera staying at first base. Delman Young tonight had an RBI single and scored a run in the first inning. That was the inning the Tigers put up 5 to start their offensive onslaught. Scored 1 more in the second, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. Both Ranger runs came on a Josh Hamilton home run in the 7th. Check swing, he went around, and it's strike 1. Says home plate umpire Jerry Meals. Low, the familiar high set. Back to the plate, and the pitch pop foul that will reach the seats just beyond the Ranger dugout. It's 0-2. You know, Tom, you're talking about sports in the Ukraine that we would not have any idea about and have to get to go see. Doug came up with, he's a great stats guy. Came up with, how about artistic gymnastics?
Well,
you think we'd have any idea about that?
I don't think so, because I don't know what it is.
The rest of them kind of, you know, cricket and basketball, rugby, hockey, boxing, soccer. But yeah, artistic gymnastics, I think that would fall into the category.
That'd be a good one.
Never have seen before and have no clue about it.
I wonder if they jammed 40,000 people in to see it.
They could. They could. Not a lot to do in the Ukraine in the winter, I don't think. Pitch in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-2 to Delman Young. I mean, unless you're in the snow shovel business, I don't imagine there's a whole lot to do. Mark Lowe working overtime. About ready to throw his 37th pitch of the night.
Fans are going to like it if they have to go out and get Alberto out of the bullpen. That's going to be funny.
Backing up, Leonis Martin. He makes the catch. That's out number 2. Cabrera back to first. And Don Kelly will come up for his first at bat. Ranger history today, June 25th, 1976. Toby Harrah becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to play an entire doubleheader without a fielding chance. Now that's weird.
That is weird.
That's one of those things that falls in the category of, no, that couldn't have happened. But Toby swears it did, so, and it's in the record books. Not just without an assist or without a putout, without a fielding chance, period.
Mark's going to get through his 3.
Yeah, Don Kelly skies out on the first pitch he sees, so the leadoff walk, no damage. Rangers coming to bat, and Alberto Gonzalez has to go ice his arm down now. Andrews, Hamilton, and Beltran. When you come back, Rangers trail by 6. Baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. You want to break up with a vehicle that's breaking down? Then head to your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best in Texas. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Now Joaquin Benoit back to the hill. He will face Elvis Andrews to start off the Ranger ninth. Rangers need 6 to tie in this contest. They trail 8-2, and Elvis takes a strike on the outside corner. 0 for 4 tonight with a couple of punch-outs. Elvis with the batting average now down below the 300 mark. He had been at 302 when this game started. Benoit misses outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Crowd of 36,920 on hand, and a lot of them have departed, this being a Monday night. A lot of folks having to go to work tomorrow. And the Rangers, quite honestly, have, other than Josh Hamilton's home run, have been pretty well shut down by the Tigers tonight. They have a swing by Elvis where he was trying to check his swing and just couldn't stop himself. It's 1-2. Benoit, a long look in. Now the right-hander is ready to work. And it's a bit low with that splitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The infield plays Elvis just about straight away. The outfield shading him quite a bit around to the right as Benoit comes back to him. A little tapper foul that will bounce behind home plate and go back toward the screen. It's amazing today. You start looking at defensive alignments, how teams set up their defense for the opposition. Here's the infield playing Elvis Andrus just about straight at every position. And you go to the outfield and they're giving him left center field and cutting down right center field on him. And it takes a lot of input to figure those things out. Those spray charts, I should say. And that's fouled away. And the depth of the outfielders too. We've noticed differences in the last couple of years about teams in normal situations, playing a lot more shallow against hitters than they were before.
Yeah, I'm always surprised. Tonight's not a good night to say it because there's no wind at all, but I'm always surprised to see the right fielder and the center fielder playing shallow in our ballpark when the wind is creating that jet stream effect.
Right. Benoit, the 2-2. Line drive, right center field. Jackson in a hurry off the plate on a hop. And Elvis Andrus aboard. The Rangers now in double figures with 10 base hits. Elvis aboard to start the 9th inning, and Josh Hamilton coming up.
I think one thing Elvis, with his maturity, he doesn't give many at-bats away. He's bearing down in every at-bat. He struck out the first couple of times up, grounded out in his 3rd attempt, and his 4th time up, he had a long fly ball all the way to the fence in left center field, hit the ball well. And this time against a tough pitcher, Joaquin Benoit, lines a sharp single to right center field. And as a hitter, you kind of feel like you salvaged the night, turned an 0 for 4 into a 1 for 5.
Hamilton with a home run his last time up. And he takes a pitch from Benoit just off the outside corner. You know, Ron Washington was quoted as saying he was preaching patience to Josh Hamilton before yesterday's ball game, and that's a pretty good indication that Josh has taken a little bit of it to heart tonight. That close fastball off the plate. There's a swing and a miss, but that was a hittable fastball, and that's the one you want Josh to wail at. You just don't want him to swing at those change-ups way out of the strike zone early in the count.
Right.
And Ron reiterated this afternoon. He said, believe me, I'm not telling Josh don't swing the bat, because Josh is obviously very good when he does. And it's 1-2 now, as Hamilton couldn't catch up with that fastball.
I think that's, one of the things Josh has had a problem with is swinging at balls out of the strike zone. He knows that. But the other thing is, you go back to earlier in the season, those 2 fastballs don't get swung and missed at.
Right.
One of those is probably going to leave the ballpark or at least be a line drive to the outfield. So, he's going through a little streak right now where he's not hot, not feeling great at the plate. And as we've said so many times, I don't care who you are, that happens. That's the way it goes. You're not going to be player of the month 6 times in a season.
Last time up, Hamilton's Villarreal cranked it over the Ranger bullpen in right center field. Got a hanging breaking ball. Now Benoit set for the 1-2 pitch. A little defensive swing there. Josh stays alive. Yeah, if you didn't have those cold streaks, you probably would play in the wrong league.
Yeah, you'd be hitting like 400 or 500.
Yeah.
And the better the hitter, the shorter your cold streaks are, the longer your hot streaks are. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, you do have them.
Josh waiting with that bat on his left shoulder. And he's down swinging. He got an off-speed pitch that stayed up. And he was just out in front of it. Not exactly where Benoit wanted it, but he gets the strikeout of Hamilton. One away, and Adrian Beltre will step in.
He had a couple of pitches, a couple of fastballs that were decent fastballs. Probably the 3rd, 4th, or 2nd pitches right in there that I think Josh would normally be pretty comfortable with, but just not in that at bat.
Well, the man at the plate now is pretty comfortable with just about everything he has seen, and that's Adrian Beltre. 3 more hits tonight, 3 out of 4. And the batting average at .330 as he stands at the plate and gets straightened up by a Benoit fastball. Double, pair of singles for Adrian Beltre tonight. Andrus the lead from first. Going inside, it's 2 balls and no strikes. Beltre extending his hitting streak to 6 consecutive ball games. He is now 13 for his last 21 in those 6 games. The 2-0 pitch. And a breaking ball hits the outside corner. Adrian against the Tigers has the most career home runs of any current Rangers. He has 10 of them. And Beltre also in the month of June against everybody, continuing to pelt the ball, hitting .352 now this month. And he takes low. It's 3 balls and a strike. Well, there's still only one out. Rangers have the guys up. They can get something going here to make some noise in this 9th inning. They trail 8-2. The hits in this ball game are even at 10. But the Tigers, with that big 5-run first inning, they got 7 of their 10 hits in that frame. And Beltre takes a strike. The count goes full. Benoit coming back in with an off-speed pitch. Laird with the signs, and Benoit agrees with one of them. Payoff pitch on the way. Out of play down the right side. Beltre knocking a little dirt off those spikes. Looking for his 4th hit of the night. And again, the 3-2. Hit hard to center field, coming on quickly as Jackson. The ball hanging up for him. And Austin Jackson able to run in underneath it. Grabs it for the 2nd out, and Michael Young coming up. Well, Benoit now has the Rangers down to their final out. Michael Young needs to get aboard to keep things going. Again tomorrow night, 7:05. Both tomorrow and Thursday against these Tigers. Tomorrow it'll be Yu Darvish, and coming in at 9-4 with a .345 earned run average, and left-hander Drew Smiley, who is 2-2 with a .396. First pitch to Young. A little cue shot that will reach the seats down the first base side and out of play. Then on Wednesday, Roy Oswalt makes his 2nd Ranger start. He'll be opposed by Doug Fister. Fister coming in with a 1-4 record, but a .272 earned run average. And 7:05 first pitch on Wednesday, and then the A's come in over the weekend, Thursday through Sunday. Fastball strike to Michael Young. It's no balls and 2 strikes now to Young.
The Rangers have made Benoit throw at least 30 pitches to pitch an inning and a third.
Might come into play either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Yeah.
The 0-2. Ground ball to second. Santiago goes to fielder, and that will do it. So for the Rangers in the 9th, no runs, a hit. They strand a runner. They leave 12 aboard tonight. And the final score of this ball game is Detroit 8 and Texas 2. And we'll be right back with more after this on Fox Sports Southwest.